Hey, what's going on? It is Thursday night. It is.
Hey, hold on a second. Man's got an announcement, innit? Like, you be talking all that, always doing the introductions. Maybe F-Word wants to do the introduction, innit? You get me? I heard it's your birthday week, bruv.
Yeah, it was the other day. Yeah.
Oh, well, you know, you're my
No
boy
singing.
from day, so
No singing.
I do not forget who my homies are. And I
Did
want
you
to say
get me
to
Belgian chocolate?
happy birthday. Happy birthday, mate.
Oh,
Yeah?
more chocolates for me.
Yeah, mate. Honestly, you've earned it. Look, guys, you can't stress enough what
Where
this guy
did
does
you,
for
where
the
did you
scene.
nick these from? Look, they're falling apart.
Yeah, they were in my bag, so they might have broken a little. I didn't take any. Yeah. Anyway, welcome to Fighting Words.
Thank you very much.
Here I am with Logan Sama on his birthday week. We do things called birthday week celebrations here, Logan. And after that rude interjection, thank you for doing all the stuff you do, my man. Please continue.
It's all good. Dan. Hey?
What's that?
Dan.
Oh, Dan being revealed.
Dan.
What do you think of that?
Dan.
Hey, shut up, man. Man's not done with you yet. You get me? Listen, I don't know why you keep thinking you're the runner of the show. I run the show now. You get me, Logan? And man's not done with your birthday. You get me? Let me just whip out the ting quickly for Logan Sama's birthday.
What
now,
is
we
this?
know he's more of a Kwamba guy, but we thought we'd give him something
What is
quite
this?
sexy for his birthday. We appreciate what you do. And the guys...
What is this?
the guys here, the team behind this beautiful set,
Crazy.
decided they were going to go all out for your birthday. Why don't you whip that
this?
open, mate, here on the camera for us to say happy birthday to you.
Wow.
We're not going to sing, you know, I'm not going to sing. I'm going to
No
resist singing.
There better not be any singing.
But
Otherwise, there'll
happy
be...
birthday, my man. I think you're going to like this one.
Oh, look at this. It's the M. Bison one, right? My
Nah,
favourite
mate,
character.
I think a character you appreciate even
My
more.
favourite. Oh. Look at that. Wow.
Ooh.
Ken Masters. What a beautiful gift.
Happy birthday, mate.
Thank you very much. It's a number 119 of 250.
Yeah, very unique model.
What a beautiful gesture. Thank you
Massive
very
shout out to Tenno, the visual entity guys, and of course.
I just want to dedicate this arcade stick to Shoyu Sengan. You haven't got one, and I do.
Damn.
I just want you to be aware of that.
Cold. I got to say, that stick goes really well with my jacket if you're feeling generous.
It does.
I mean, look at that.
It's beautiful.
That is-
It's a shame that you won't get to use it
Okay,
ever.
well, worth a try.
It's mine. It's all mine. What a beautiful gift.
Right. Back to restoring order after spoiling Logan rotten. Having said that, this guy does a lot of stuff that, I mean, the show that you were dealing with now, this guy does a ton of stuff that I'm not involved with. I've got a full-time job, family at home. This guy pulls all the content together. This guy goes
cool
out,
is that?
finds the interviews. He will not sing his own praises because he's not that kind of guy, but I'll sing it for him. Logan, you the man. Happy birthday, my guy.
I didn't
Now-
know. I wasn't expecting that at all.
Yeah, well, mate.
That's way better than any presents I've got. Well, I got Matt the Sega Saturn weird import version once, I guess.
Well, you know it's a fact, man. It's these guys. Yeah.
Thank
So-
you very much, lads. Cheers, fellas.
And Victrix, of course. We love you.
Yeah, what a beautiful gift. Very much appreciated.
Where were we?
Dan.
Dan. Blimey.
Dan.
Dan.
You know what? At least it's not like. At least it's not Fei Long or Yun or Rufus
So you wouldn't have liked
or
any of those characters?
Makoto.
I saw Ricky Ortiz tweet that she misses Rufus, and I was just like,
Yeah.
girl, you serious? I mean,
It's nice to be able to play without having to think, right? So.
yeah, no, we don't miss Rufus at all. I'll tell you what, though, Logan. Do we miss Dan? Honestly speaking.
I'm not going to lie. Dan was not on my list of characters
Absolutely
that I wanted.
not.
Right? But do you know what's funny about Dan, right? We need to go-
Everything?
well, do you remember as Street Fighter 4 went on and everyone kind of like got their Dragon Punches nerfed over and over and over again?
Yes.
And
yeah.
Dan like ended up having
The Dragon Punch.
like a vanilla Dragon Punch still. On paper, Dan was like he did no damage and got no light, medium confirmed.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
But on paper, Dan was a decent Street Fighter 5 character.
He actually was a pretty decent. Yeah, that's a really good point.
So
He had mediums into mediums.
we get. Do you know what
He
we're
had
gonna
plus.
do?
He had plus
Let's
pressure.
stop all this because we are going to go through that Dan reveal
Let's check it out.
and that super exclusive video footage that was not filmed on someone's phone in the office. Absolutely not. We're going to look at that a bit later, but. Yeah, the whole thing. We're going to go through the whole summer update. We've got loads of stuff you can see on the side here on the show. It's Fighting Words, where we talk about all the cool things that are happening in Street Fighter. Let me just pull this cable back over my shoulder because it's not, it's pulling the headset off my head. what a wonderful weekend we had, by the way.
Oh, man, so fun. So fun. And you know, awesome to be celebrating that reveal this week as well. You know, the momentum continues.
An incredible week.
I've really enjoyed it.
Capped by my birthday, of course, and then
which you
some
obviously...
other minor events either side. I'm really excited about the show. So we've got a Daigo interview.
Oh, yeah.
He's blessed us with words, and you know his words come at a premium. We did manage to get an interview with Kaba.
Brilliant. Mr. Loverman. Kaba.
There you go. The champion of Central America 1.
As predicted by
Thank
yours
you again,
truly.
by the way, to Walter for helping us with the translation on that again. Always coming through.
2 out of 2 on form, 100%
you're
prediction
just
rate.
unstoppable.
I just can't guess wrong.
We're going to be talking about the summer update as well, the roadmap, which I think I'm really happy to see.
Yep.
As well. Obviously, it's a disappointment that we're going to have to wait a long time.
Yeah.
But
I imagine it's got a lot to do with what's been going on this year.
Exactly.
Right?
COVID has stopped a lot of work being done in offices, and you might think that people can just work at home, and it's the same. It's working at home on a computer. It's not the same. And of course, SFL back now again, as we have moved slots a little bit later to accommodate SFL, but it means that we can just ramble on for as long as we want.
Exactly.
Talking about the tings.
Love it.
And, of course, we will be looking at SFL's pre-season event as well, as Myers, Commander Jesse, Nephew and Samurai. I wonder who else we're going to be seeing in those pre-season matchups. We've got a few more weeks to go. We will get through all of that, but let's get onto our first point of action, and that is the CPT Central America. What a great tournament that was. We saw Mexico show out in force, I have to say.
Good grief.
We were expecting the DR to come through, and they did. 9 players in top 16, but only 3 of those managed to get through into the top 8. 3 Mexicans from 5 managed to get through, though.
Good old Mexico.
A really good performance, and we got to see Kaba versus Kusanagi in grand finals. It was a lot closer than their match in top 16 winners.
Yep.
And Kusanagi definitely made the most of the environment during his run in that tournament.
He did, yeah. But at the same time, we're going to talk about this in more detail.
But we will look at his play because there was lots of interesting stuff that we can pull apart through his Sakura play. And you mentioned he's clearly a player that has been, using this character and exploring this character, innovating and trying to find new things with this character from the jump, from season 3 all the way through to now. And we'll talk a little bit about that. But, of course, the man of the moment is Kaba. He is going to be in Capcom Cup, the second man from the Dominican Republic in the Capcom Cup after Mandrake.
They may have more players from Dominican Republic than Japan in this Capcom Cup.
It's possible.
It seems like very possible.
It is possible. We are guaranteed to see 5 players from the Latin American region.
That's insane.
In the Capcom Cup. That's a quarter of all the players
what an opportunity.
in the Capcom Cup. We did, in fact, ask Daigo about this in the interview later, so you're going to hear his thoughts on the number of players from new regions that are going to be represented as opposed to the overwhelming number of Japanese players that you normally see. But yeah, aside from Kusanagi and Kaba making it into grand finals, are there any other players that really stood out for you this weekend that maybe put themselves on the map for you that you were surprised by?
Yeah, I've forgotten his name's escaped me. Colleen player.
Oh, MX Gus.
MX Gus, man. That guy was sick. His whole play style and his utilization of what is a very, very sneaky character in Street Fighter V in Colleen really impressed me. He played the matchups with such precision, and I learned a few things about some intricacies in matchups I didn't know before. Watching him play, I think his run was super strong. Unfortunately for him, when he lost hard.
I feel like that's a thing with Colleen. Like she has some polarizing matchups.
She does.
Guile specifically is one of those.
That's a pretty tough one for
her.
her.
People were actually
really hard.
Yeah, people were actually letting get away with a lot as well. You could see that some people were not as expert.
Yeah, no, he was definitely like abusing some frames here and there.
There's some stuff that was definitely punishable was not being punished, but it's online as well. We have to, remember that across regions.
Not to discredit him, he looked very strong, but there was a few things that happened that made me question the exposure of that region to Colleen. Because there was some like point blank hands that just like.
But it's -4, and Are you going to get, that button might have just got eaten by the online lords. They might have just
true.
denied you.
That's
So
true.
I thought MX Goose was really impressive. I was impressed also by who was it?
Jazdera?
Jazdera was okay.
Yeah, I thought Jazdera played the perfect
Doomsnake.
online
Doomsnake really showed
Doomsnake
out.
looked brilliant until the end.
Really showed out for me. We know that Vega is more of a threat, I think, now this season with more tools that have been improved and added, brand new tools, of course, V-School 2 and Sky High Claw. We saw him use both of those to good effect, specifically Sky High Claw. And yeah, I was really impressed representing Panama as well, which is nice to see. We had Mono representing Puerto Rico and Doomsday
There was a nice
representing
variety in
Panama.
that top 8 in the end.
In the end there was. It was nice to have a wider representation than sort of the outright dominance that we were expecting of the DR. But in the end, the DR did take it with Kaba, who was definitely, I think, a name that we were expecting to see at least in grand finals. Obviously, I know you picked him to
I was
win.
expecting him to lose to Mena, though. And that was I went very specific with my pick.
Let's talk a little bit about Mena. Because
Mena's a guy that was obviously...
We were expecting
favourite?
Mena to use a wide variety of characters. That's what we were expecting. In the end, we saw... It was only Sakura and Birdie, right?
Yeah, I don't remember anyone else coming out.
No, sorry, there was
Cammy
Used
as well.
Cammy.
Used Cammy once too.
Yeah, so...
Scammy.
Well, it didn't work out for
I
him.
didn't know.
Do you think that he just went in the online environment for what he was comfortable with?
No, I think he kind of stuck to his strategy. Looking back at so I got to look back at some of his matches, and he did stick to his strategy where he was kind of picking characters based on the player, and based on the matchup. It seemed so. There were some situations with Sakura where his opponent just looked helpless. Like MS Gus just he didn't know what to do against. There were some punishes I didn't even know Sakura had in that matchup. I was like, whoa, so she can't do that from that range.
Because he started that out with Birdie, right, and then switched.
I don't know. Did he have Birdie for the first game in that one?
I think so. I can't remember. That was one of the off-stream matches, but.
Yeah, I mean, it was a beatdown. Mena looked great. What surprised me was, and I don't know if because these guys are good friends. It's not like they don't play regularly. Maybe they've played the Carrying Gar matchup a lot since Blink, but he was pretty convincing against Kaba.
Well, it was 3-0. You can't ask for any more convincing than that, right?
But then he insisted on sticking with Birdie when he played against Kaba in tournament, which surprised me. Actually, I thought he might switch to carrying it again to replicate that success. But Birdie's the one he has the successful history against Gar with. That's what he went with. Maybe it's something he needs to look back at and see if it was the right choice, because it looked uphill. All the way through it looked uphill. Kaba looked very comfortable against Mena in that set, I must say.
And then Kusanagi eliminating him 3-1 in losers with Sakura. That was when he went for the Cammy pick first of all, and then picked Birdie as well. So we didn't get to see a mirror match.
I see why Birdie was not gone to straight away. I mean, the jump game looks like a real frustration for Birdie now, especially with that nerf. The jump roundhouse, the jump light kick at the angle, and she's already got insanely good buttons and walk speed.
I really want to talk about that jump light kick a lot, actually, because whether that was online or whether it's legitimate, I've spoken to a couple of Sakura players and they didn't really say that, jump light kick's really strong, because it's not particularly. But boy, Kusanagi was getting a lot of mileage out of that jump light kick against everybody. But I can see how frustrating it can be against Birdie. And a lot of Birdie players have legitimate concerns about that crouch medium punch anti-air, where they've removed some of the hitbox from behind his head, but the move still travels forward. It's one of those moves that it's specifically designed in its animation for its original iteration, which was annoying. You couldn't jump in on Birdie. It covered everything.
You couldn't. Yeah, it was perfect.
But now they've removed the hitbox on the back of his head. He still moves forward. So at a range where it looks like you should be able to anti-air, he actually makes the anti-air whiff.
Yeah, he's more susceptible.
And you saw that a lot with the jump light kick.
Yeah, a ton with it. And I think even Cammy, there was one jump light kick where she beat the back medium punch clean, and I was just like, whoa, this button seems like if you have the right angle and you press it at the right time, it seems like a tricky button to deal with. Again, similar to you, I've never really looked at Sakura's jump light kick for more than a second. But after that, then it's probably a combination as well of I think after watching Kusanagi this weekend, I think I underappreciated how mobile Sakura is.
I think that's her really genuinely her strongest.
Good lord, she's all over the place, man. You cannot, because if someone's gonna dash, right? I mean, when Urian dashes, it's hard to react to, but the fact that his walk speed is like that, then he does that, kind of gives you a chance. But the fact that her walk speed is already like that, and then she can do that as well, and then she jumps.
She has a godlike jump game as well.
Man, she is so mobile, and you can see, especially in an online environment.
The strength of Urian's dash game is the fact that he has a lot of variables in your face.
Variable movements, buttons.
The fireball dash game is really good. He's also got quarrel kick at that range, which you have to respect. He's
random
got
EX tackle.
Exactly, EX tackle all the time is a threat. EX knee and fierce as well. We don't even really talk about stand fierce anymore, but that's there also.
Still good.
So he has a lot of things for you to think about, and that kind of makes the dash more effective.
Of course, yeah.
Also, the dash animation that Urian has, it hasn't got a lot of notable startup recognition to that dash. Sakura's dash is a teleport, bro. Anyway, we're going on about Kusanagi. We're going to go in depth about Kusanagi, but let's actually focus on the man that is going to be going to Capcom Cup. Definitely. Let's take a look at the grand finals. A very, very impressive performance from Kaba against Kusanagi. A lot closer than it was in the top 16. 3-2 the score. Let's look at these highlights. On the other side, we're going to be back talking about the champ himself, Mr. Loverman, Kaba.
Throw and try to push him to the corner, but the back fist this time. Gutsy button to press, gets the crush counter. Not a full combo, however, does get that. I love seeing that. The stand light kick into the flash kick, showing off his execution.
We got 2 more booms to worry about. EX uppercut on the second to last one.
Kusanagi very close to a V-trigger, but he's going to need a crush counter because he can't eat more damage and still get it. However, it's not going to get to that point. Low forward into the EX fireball, and he takes the first round.
Got the forward fierce crush counter. Block on the upside down kick.
See Raw activate this time. Oh, just in that range, and Kaba confirms into the critical arc.
Not enough damage, but we still have trigger on deck for the Lexus Sakura. Allowing the fireball to get through the pressure, not just dead enough. You already knew the chip was coming. The V-skill projectile Kusanagi doesn't have the rhythm to actually contest the Sonic Booms anymore, but still gets caught after the Tatsu critical art. Getting the first round, and a round well spent with that. Nice work. Yes, sir. I love that air-to-air option from Kusanagi, spending that bar very well. Upside down, gets that forward, check it with the stand short once again. Throw is imminent, but Kaba backed off.
Yes, good stuff. Having that V-trigger 1, the mini booms following up that big first Sonic Boom chunk of health for the kill. The V-skill enhanced fireballs constantly. However, this time he's going to be able to get the forward throw. Oh, and the counter hit. Saving the critical R for now. Plus frames. And that's why you see Kaba V reversal. He does surrender his V-trigger, though, for now.
Oh, no, he runs into it again.
Yep. Oh, I was going to say, and that gives Kaba the life lead, and Kaba, beautiful, low into the high with the target combo, or whatever it may have you. You saw him try to use the EX Fireball for plus frames afterwards, but it did not pay off. Now Kaba, half and half suplex in the corner. Let me see something. Nice
flash kick.
Oh, again, now he's going to get the knockdown. Oh, and baits it out beautifully. Kaba getting punished. Oh!
The delayed flash kick anti-air. Uh-oh.
Okay. Still doable for Kusanagi. I love this throw here, right? Kaba's going to be willing to take these throws because he doesn't want to give him something big, so that's why he just utilizes it again. And now you're in that scenario where he just smashes on crouch slide kick. Perfect decision-making from Kaba.
Oh, he tried to anti-air with the uppercut.
Again, no flash kick off that stand light kick this time. Oh, with the buff from behind. His own stand light kick. Guile utilizing it just as well.
Dangerous territory and the down forward roundhouse. The call out from Kaba. Again, all he can take at this point. As much as he can take, I should say.
When he tries to dash in again, EX flash kick this time is the answer from Kaba. Big jump in. Will he spin the critical bar? No, he's actually just going with the EX bar. Now he just needs one more throw and one more guess. He goes with the meaty.
Confirm.
Oh, you have to flip out on the air hit. It's going to allow him to confirm that light kick all the way through to critical art. Huge damage here from Kusanagi trying to tie this set up, and he gets the dash forward, meaty, low forward. Gets the counter hit. Oh, you
yeah!
reversal in. Nothing, my friend. Counter.
I was about to say, both of these guys were duking it out close quarters up until the point Kaba got the life lead. Does so again, backs off so slightly, and nice and easy. Again, in a championship point scenario for Kaba. Ooh, that could have been huge! Oh, an even bigger punish from Kusanagi. Couple more sequences. One throw.
Tries to lock him down. I love that V reversal right there from Kaba. Just get that space back with some gray life on him. Oh, catches down the gray life, and there it is. The target combo finishes the job, and Kaba is your Central America qualifier for Capcom Cup.
The man who is going to be representing the Dominican Republic, the first man, there might be another, in Capcom Cup, it is Kaba, making his run all the way through winners as well. And how strong did he look this weekend?
He looked unstoppable. I think he was just very on point this weekend in terms of his ability to read the opponent, to control the opponent's movement, to anticipate and to punish. Listen, Garl's very good at that anyway, right? And this is what makes him a very strong character, is the fact that he can avoid a lot of that Street Fighter 5 play, I guess you could call it. But when he was put in those situations, those Street Fighter 5 situations, he had a very good read rate. If you go back and watch his matches, you know, when it was the throw, there was the tech. When it was the shimmy, there was nothing. When it was his wake-up EX flash kick game was like almost 100%. I think it was. I don't remember him getting blocked. This guy was like very risk-averse, but also a little bit of craziness in there and full control throughout. Everyone was playing catch-up against him.
That's been a theme, though, throughout these tournaments. It's very much like it needs to be your day. And we saw that with Daigo.
Absolutely.
Like, Daigo beat Tokido 3-1, right? But there was a load of incidents in that 3-1 set where Daigo could have made the wrong guess and got stunned and lost the round, but he made the right read defensively, and it worked out, and he was able to come back from there and close it out.
And on occasion, it was like a gutsy read where it's like, dude, just take the throw at this point.
Yeah.
This guy's taking the throw. It's like, whoa.
He got the back throw, and then that's,
you know what I mean? It's like, damn. You know,
I'm going to do the wake-up EX flash kick, and your demon's going to go straight through me, you know, and I get the punish for the round.
That's it. And
I think
you're
going to try and pressure me for this stun. The EX flash kick comes out, and it was the right thing to do as well. Yeah, it was. There was a lot of that from Kaba.
Yeah.
I was really impressed, I have to say, when I watched him play Kusanagi in winners of top 16.
The first set.
Yeah, because you could see that Kusanagi was trying to abuse a lot of the stuff that is definitely going to be effective online, right? Early jump roundhouse, which is difficult for Gal to stop if he doesn't have charge.
Absolutely.
Right, if Gal's standing up, you know that you can do an early jump in on him, and he has to be ready with that real quick.
Early, I think, yeah.
Real quick. Well, what Kaba was doing was walking. It's like he was, you know, like carrying players don't anti-air you. They walk underneath and punish your landing frames. He was doing that. He was walking underneath and jabbing, you know, immediately.
Super annoying, yeah. Super
really,
annoying.
really good answers. You know, what other stuff was he doing that really highlighted for me? The way that he just dealt with Mena as well. He handled Mena so impressively.
Mena couldn't get anything going, and his range control was really impressive, because the big deal in that matchup is obviously the bullhorn, right? Like when he's throwing the booms. I don't think I saw a single boom.
Even with the nerf, where it's the start up of the projectile invincibility are less, it's still easily quick enough to get through that boom.
Yeah, it's a big part of the matchup.
Yeah.
But he did throw booms from punishable range, but very rarely. And he'd rarely let Mena get into the range where he can actually bullhorn and get something good. And that's a big deal for Birdie. Bullhorn through the boom, activation, extra damage, knockdown, Oki, command grab range. That is scary.
Well, even if he's not getting the activation, he still gets Oki from the bullhorn anyway. Yeah, exactly.
You're not dealing with that situation against Birdie for an entire set. I mean, that's impressive. Especially Mena, who probably has the highest hit rate against Gal, I think. Gal's booms. He just couldn't get going. The boom pattern was too varied. Couldn't read him. Ready for the jump. He just played so well. It just looked uphill.
And even Kaba's offense was really impressive. Like the way that he would make you focus on the ground by throwing the V-skill boom and then throwing the back fist out behind it, force you. But then he's still throwing in the jump-ins, which is what makes him really scary. And that's kind of that, that element of craziness that you need, because it's very hard to play Street Fighter 5, right, with that super solid style where I'm just going to shut you down. I'm gonna check every dash. I'm gonna whiff punish every normal, and I'm gonna anti-air every jump in. It's not if you just play like that, it's very difficult to be consistent, because there's so many things that can go wrong. Every boom you throw is an opportunity to get jumped in on. Every slow normal you throw out that you think they're going to walk into, again, it's an opportunity to get jumped in on, or you can get sweat punished if you do the back fist. There's loads of things that can go wrong. Well, guess what? He put his foot down on the accelerator and was putting the pressure on himself. And I feel like that is one of the things that sets him out as one of the elite Giles, even with the nerfs to a lot of Giles' block strings, a lot of his pressure strings, a lot of his buttons in normal, in neutral, those command normals. His offense with Guile is frightening. Yeah,
and he knows when to turn it on, which is really the big difference in this game, is knowing when your opponent's not ready for it. And he did that so well. Look, a lot of people who aren't fans of Giles will say, "Oh, it's easy, you know, you're never going to be ready. He's throwing booms on it." But actually, I've seen at the highest level in recent years, or the last season, I've seen Guile really struggle. Like Daigo and Kaba really struggle against it because they got the read on Guile now. I don't know what's happened since then, but these guys, from the 2 tournaments we've seen, the read is not there anymore. They can't predict these guys, and if you can't predict Guile, he becomes easily a top 5 character because everything's anticipation. Like, you know, if you're not ready for the boom or the dash or the jump in, suddenly this guy's like got the best defense and one of the best offense games in the game, and you're having to deal with all of it. So I think Kaba's done really well to mask his approach as well as maintain that solid defense at the same time. Just the Mena set alone was super impressive. I mean, the fact that Mena said weeks ago, if I get Guile, I'm picking Birdie. That confidence in that matchup. And then when you see the match, it looks like he hasn't got a chance in hell, with respect. That's a massively impressive performance from Kaba.
Well, let's hear what the champ has to say for himself. We've got the exclusive interview, flinging in some of the clips, obviously the most exciting bits from Kaba's run through the tournament as well. Let's hear from himself, Bandits Kaba, who is going to be joining the other players at Capcom Cup this year.
Me siento muy bien. Fue un trabajo en equipo realmente que estuvimos realizando para yo poder obtener el resultado que el esperado realmente. Me preparé demasiado para poder clasificar este año, ya que se han hecho 4 Capcom Cup y yo solamente he clasificado para uno, que fue en el 2018. Entonces este año me entregué al 100% para poder clasificar y realmente me siento muy bien con eso. Quiero dar las gracias a todo el que me ha estado ayudando para poder obtener estos resultados y mantener mi enfoque, y prometo darlo todo en el Capcom Cup, mi gente. Así que muchísimas gracias. Siendo realista, realmente me preparé mucho mentalmente, ya que tú sabes que por la diferencia de conexiones que hubo con algunos jugadores, obviamente no podemos descartar ese hecho. Tú tienes que trabajar más en el mental, porque puede que sea por un error, por una pequeñez, por ejemplo, de una mala conexión, de un mal momento, puede que te bloquees mentalmente y puede que entonces pierdas el enfoque y puedes perder el set. Sin embargo, yo me preparé muy bien mentalmente para todo ese tipo de situación, siempre manteniendo el enfoque para no desconcentrarme. Realmente no tuve de que ese momento en el cual pude haber dicho que no iba a ganar. Siempre pensé que iba a ganar y todo el mundo me lo estaba diciendo, de hecho, desde antes. Y me preparé mucho más para mi hermano Mena, que realmente, como nosotros jugamos mucho y nos conocemos bastante, yo me le quise ir por un poco por delante, ya que le desarrolló algunas técnicas. No sé si él pudo descifrarlo, pero yo creo que sí. Así que para el próximo enfrentamiento creo que va a haber mucha pelea. Y la pelea también con Disney de Panamá, una pelea bien cerrada, que me costó mucho. Tuve que pensar bien cada movimiento que tenía que hacer, ya que él estaba bien paciente y realmente yo también le apliqué esa misma estrategia de paciencia. No sé si ustedes pudieron verlo. Fue un juego de mente muy fuerte. Realmente este año, como conseguí, gracias a Dios, mi firma con los Bandits, realmente de la manera que nos hemos manejado con el manager, con el equipo en sí, ha sido bastante buena, y bastante eficaz realmente, por el hecho de que desde el principio de año, entre nosotros los 3 bandis, yo, Mena y Crossover, hemos mantenido una práctica constantemente de martes y jueves, 4 horas. Nosotros nos juntamos nosotros 3 a practicar solamente. Le he sacado el máximo provecho. Y a lo que está pasando hoy en día en el mundo, la desafortunada pandemia, realmente también me ha ayudado mucho a entender muchas cosas del juego, porque como nos tendremos que mantener en casa, realmente yo he practicado bastante y he desarrollado mucha tecnología. Y también me he puesto a ver el gameplay de Daigo, el streaming de él, y estudiar su juego. Y también me ha ayudado bastante poder analizar cómo piensa Daigo y la tecnología que desarrolla y sus estrategias. Realmente también me ha ayudado mucho. Así que yo le he dado muy fuerte este año a la práctica en Street Fighter en comparación con los otros.
Ooh, does get in. Yes, the juggle points right there are going to allow for the DP afterwards, but no, the throw's a little bit too early, and now he gets counter hit. V-trigger activation. There's going to be a lot of damage here from... Oh, no. Kusanagi trying to hold on for dear life here, but his life is just whittling down. He will have critical armor if he survives this, but he will not. Oh, man.
Beautiful. You love to see it, man.
No, realmente significa mucho para mí el hecho de que, por ejemplo, conmigo aquí todos los jugadores son bien abiertos, gusta compartir información. Yo mayormente cuando yo juego en un torneo, yo no juego solo, y siempre me están escribiendo, muchos de los jugadores, de hecho, que están en el mismo torneo, me escriben y me dicen, estoy pendiente a tu match, para cualquier cosa que tú necesites, yo estoy aquí. Y realmente yo pierdo una mano, de una vez lo saco y le escribo, ¿qué tú crees que dice mal? Y ellos de una vez me responden. O sea, ese apoyo siempre constante de esos jugadores y de mis amistades de aquí. Así que eso, de verdad que yo lo agradezco mucho. Eso me ha funcionado bastante.
Cobb on life support.
Yeah, minus situation after the top 2. V-reversal bait through and through.
Beautiful V-reversal bait right there. Oh no, and then the throw bait after the upside down king, and just like that, the life is evened up. Another V-trigger is active for Kusanagi now, though. Oh my goodness, the discipline from Kaba, bruh.
Are you
Not
kidding me?
shaking at all. Just waiting, finds that opportunity, get the flash kick, autocorrect again.
Realmente sí, definitivamente sí. O sea, la preparación que está teniendo Mandrake y aquí todos nosotros, lo de Latinoamérica, ha sido muy exigente. Tenemos a Pícoro también de Perú, un Bison demasiado bueno. Mandrake con Urien, ahora yo entré con Guy. En verdad, el peligro fuerte, lo voy a implantar yo en esa copa. Y todavía falta un torneo para esta región y otro torneo para la región de Brasil y Perú. Pero de esta región yo quiero que gane Mena también. Yo siempre me siento más cómodo cada vez que viajo con Mena para los torneos. Y me gustaría que gane Mena. Si ganó Mena, denos la copa. Denos la copa de nuevo, que la vamos a traer.
Oh, no, sir. Got the gut punch. Yeah, uppercut punish, and now we got the forward throw as well. Actually, with Zuka knee, I'm surprised he kept going in rather than set up with the Sonic Boom. And so do the anti immediately.
And I like it. I like the aggression from Kaba. Now it's forcing Mena RD to come in and make mistakes, right? There's the lockdown that we're seeing. Sobot kick to check himself just in case he wrecks himself.
Te voy a explicar algo realmente de lo que yo entiendo que es una de las fortalezas de Guy. La primera fortaleza de Guy es su sistema de sword, de proyectiles. Es muy bueno. Realmente eso lo mejoraron bastante Street Fighter 4, Street Fighter 5. Y lo otro es la carga, como es más rápida en este juego. A Guy le permite, él es el que tiene una de las mejores herramientas de reacción, o sea, con la flash key. Porque por ejemplo con la flash key, yo lo que hago es, como yo utilizo a Guy, que yo le puedo reaccionar tanto al jumping como al dash. O sea, yo puedo utilizar la flash key para reaccionarle a un dash y a un jumping. Entonces si tú tienes un golpe también te puede hacer whip punch con la barredora. O sea, él tiene una de las mejores herramientas para reaccionar. Eso lo hace muy fuerte a él, porque el momento circunstanciales, realmente él puede reaccionar de una manera fácil. Entonces la flash key abarca mucho mucho espacio. La hitbox es muy grande, llega muy lejos. Es una de las ventajas muy fuertes de Guy. Eso yo lo veo muy fuerte. Cuando tú aprendes a dominar eso, que cuando Daigo cambió para la hitbox, que yo estaba viendo la mejoría que él tenía, yo tuve que hacer unos ajustes también con mi control, y ahora yo juego también a la palanca y al control. Eso me ha ayudado bastante. Yo pienso que es una de las fortalezas muy buenas que le ayuda a competir con todos los personajes, el uso de la flash.
Mid-air, using that roundhouse instead, avoiding that medium kick anti-air. But here we go, Kaba with the traps. No, you cannot jump out of here. They have the option select, baby.
And just like that, Kaba is tied it up, but no! He actually was able to get that EX headbutt out, now coming to the corner.
Wait a
the good
minute.
bar. Get off me, friend. First game to Kaba.
Set up the Sonic Boom game.
Dude, he's being a complete defensive wall right now. Can't find his way in, and when he does, he pays dearly with his life. Right now, not a scratch on Kaba. Man's looking for Steam. Finally does get scratched up a little bit. Sweet knockdown. Oh, and the EX Bullhead coming through.
Oh, he was baiting the EX flash kick, but no dice. Kaba nice and pasty.
Fíjate que Daigo es uno de mis jugadores favoritos, le tengo mucho respeto. Fíjate que para él es que más me voy a preparar, porque mucha gente, oye, quiere ver ese macho de nuevo. En el Evo 2018 eso se cayó abajo cuando jugamos Daigo, y realmente yo me sentí muy bien cuando le gané. Era uno de mis sueños realmente, yo competí con una de las leyendas como Daigo y Tokido y ganarle también. Así que para el próximo enfrentamiento, que si Dios quiere ahora va a ser en el Capcom Cup, realmente que sea lo que Dios quiera, no te voy a decir que le voy a ganar, pero voy a ir con tecnología muy fuerte, así que se prepare.
Only found a flash kick.
I love it. I love the patience from Kaba. Doesn't matter what side, he's gonna flash kick the hell out of it. Forward throws in his corner. Not quite yet, but the punish on the sweep is there. Kaba in the right range for Sonic Booms. This is the perfect range actually to bully him in this corner and keep him there. No side, no stand switch here.
Yeah, and Doomstick doesn't have any meter as well, so he can't blow through those Sonic Booms as easily. Does have a V-Trigger on deck. That's why he's maybe looking for the slide, however.
Yo voy a seguir jugando. Definitivamente voy a seguir entrenando fuerte. Porque, por ejemplo, cada vez que yo me pongo a practicar, que descubro algo nuevo, yo siempre lo apunto. Lo apunto en mi celular y yo lo tengo ahí guardado. No es que voy a estar jugando que al máximo, por ejemplo, al máximo nivel, obviamente me voy a tomar un poco de receso, ya que clasifiqué a la Copa, que era uno de mis objetivos, porque tampoco me puedo saturar. Pero sí voy a seguir desarrollando técnicas y estudiando a todos los jugadores que han clasificado al Capcom Cup. Ayudando a los jugadores de aquí de República Dominicana para que clasifique otro al Capcom Cup también.
Some more airs coming out from Doomstick. Now he can't get bullied in the air, but he does, and that's exactly why you can't afford that. Kaba gonna close this out and put himself in winner side grand finals 3-1.
Por ejemplo, a mí él solamente me iba a ganar con Billy. Si me cogía otro personaje no me iba a ganar. Realmente con Karim creo que le iba a tener difícil contra mí. Pero, por ejemplo, después a todos, sí yo entiendo que él podía usar a Karim, que las tiene bastante fuerte, y a Abigail también. Mena es muy versátil, tiene muchos personajes que son bien fuertes, lo tiene. Definitivamente yo pienso que Mena puede ganar el torneo. Mena, de hecho, yo y él siempre tenemos buenos enfrentamientos, y él ha estado por arriba de mí. Pero la preparación fue muy fuerte, la preparación mía. Me preparé demasiado para él, pero él va a ganar el próximo torneo, yo confío.
You saw him try to use the EX Fireball for plus frames afterwards, but it did not pay off. Now Kaba half and half suplex in the corner. Let me see something. Nice flash kick. Oh, again, now he's going to get the knockdown. Oh, and baits it out beautifully. Kaba, one round to him in this game 3.
Lo voy a motivar dando el Capcom Cup. Este Capcom Cup, realmente. Voy quiero que me vean como una motivación. Y también tengo pensado empezar con mi proyecto de mis streaming y hacer varios torneos, compartir toda la información. De verdad hay muchos jugadores con deseo de aprender. Yo lo quiero ayudar, tú sabes. Entonces lo voy a ayudar a través de la plataforma de Twitch haciendo mis streams. Eso totalmente de mí hacia ellos sale de corazón.
I was about to say, both of these guys were duking it out close quarters up until the point Kaba got the life from Dusto again. Backs off so slightly, and nice and easy.
Tries to lock him down. Love that V reversal right there from Kaba. Just get that space back with some gray life on him. Oh, catches down the gray life, and there it is. The target combo finishes the job, and Kaba is your Central America Qualifier for Capcom Cup.
Realmente sí, que se preparen para el Capcom Cup, porque realmente me estoy preparando bien fuerte. Y en el 2018, que fue que clasifiqué, estaba casi de entrada al top 8. Y realmente no pude, y Tazam me vino con una estrategia muy fuerte. Pero el año que viene, definitivamente voy a hacer el trabajo. Así que muchísimas gracias, mi gente, por el apoyo. Y nada, me voy a mantener muy activo jugando. Cualquier cosa, la dejan saber, ya ustedes saben.
And there you have it, your Central America champion, Kaba, taking home the victory and looking to bring the trophy back home to the Dominican Republic. Interesting, he says back home. Don't forget, these guys are champions in their right, thanks to Menor RD already. For such a small nation to have such a strong depth of players, man. I'm so impressed by those guys. And he's a serious threat, I think, going into the Cup. I think he's one of the guys who, not to take anything away from the other guys who've been like surprise qualifiers, he's one of the qualifiers who he's qualified and you kind of look at him like, this guy's a threat. This guy could actually go on a big run on the day and maybe take the whole thing. So great to see Kaba's booked his place.
Yeah, it's exciting, you know, that Daigo and Kaba are both qualified within a week of each other. You got the double Giles there.
There you go, man.
It's confidence, though, right, for him, I think, with Kaba. If he turns up and he plays to his best, he can literally beat anybody on his day. He's
really
well equipped to do that. And it just speaks of the kind of attitude that they've got in the DR, where they all support each other, they all back each other. It's such a wonderful community where they all come together and support. And I believe that they're best players, and I'm not only talking about Mena and Kaba. There's other players in the DR as well.
They got a big pool. Yeah.
Are world class. They are genuinely world class, and it's wonderful that the CPT format this year is allowing players like that to get the opportunity to be seen and compete on the world level. I mean, yes, there's going to be a number of players missing that we would like to see, but you have to look at the upside, and it's doing wonderful things for these regions. Latin America.
This is what a true international tournament looks like, actually. You know, usually you've got guaranteed representation from a number of nations, and I actually quite like it this way. I will miss that strength and depth of the Japanese, of course. We're always going to miss that, but I'd like to see how it turns out this way. I'd like to see how everyone holds their own against the elites. Also, it's worth mentioning, not to like, you know, call out Kaba in any negative light, but this is a guy who I specifically remember when I first met Kaba. He was money matching a bunch of the European and American guys, and he was winning maybe like 30% of the money matches. He was getting kind of bodied. Everyone knew Guile. They had that knuckle do experience. I specifically remember Problem X just destroying the guy. This is like three years ago.
Okay.
This guy has ascended to a completely different league now since then. That scene and that training regime they have. Don't forget that Kaba was not one of the main threats from that scene for a long time. The last 2 years, he's been ridiculous. And it's all down to that practice, that exposure, that community that you mentioned that they have in the Dominican Republic. And
well, he said he'd been working really hard with Mena and Crossover and putting those quality sessions together as well. I think, you know, it's something to be said. And again, I don't want to keep going back to Daigo. We have words for him coming up later, and you'll be very aware of how he trains. But it's that quality of play. It's not just going online and just playing ranked for 5 hours straight, which some of the people that stream do. Because
of course,
that's what get the viewers in, go on ranked, rage, blah, blah, blah. Look, if you're trying to be a world-class player, you need to be training with purpose.
Absolutely.
You need to be working on situations. You need to be investigating the characters that you could be facing, coming up with answers and solutions to those situations.
Productivity over activity.
And
every
also
time.
how to exploit patterns that you identify from opponents as well, from watching the tape. Everyone's matches are online now.
And your
You
own
can pull
patterns
them
as
up.
well is
Of
huge,
course, exactly. Identifying your
Identify
own
you've got a pattern.
obvious
Change it.
patterns. And when you're training with someone, be it, if you're able to, based on the guidelines in your country, if you're able to get together and play in a space, that's probably the best. But if not, get online, play and train with a partner, get on the Discord or the voice chat and talk through that set that you're playing with a purpose. He's grinding. You can see everybody's out here grinding and putting the hours in, and they're just elevating all the time. I'm really excited because, a lot of the players are not having to travel as much at the moment. I think we said this to like Cien, Daigo, Tokido. We've mentioned it in a lot of the interviews. A lot of the players are not having to travel much, and I can distinctly remember Cien saying when we spoke to him about 3 years ago, all I do is I just travel to tournaments and compete in tournaments. I have no time to train and practice. My practice is playing in tournaments. So picking up new characters, trying out new stuff. I'm only getting to try this stuff out in sessions, money matches. In tournaments, I'm like, well, everyone's at home now. They're able to become their best.
It's a worldwide hyperbolic chamber. Everyone's leveling
exactly.
up,
So
everyone.
I'm really excited to see how Capcom Cup shapes up.
I want to address what he said as well in that interview, that the fact that and this is a great testament of Caba's mentality, and I think a big reason as to why he won. This guy's saying during the event that he felt more threatened or in more danger during his set versus Mena than he did versus Kusanagi, even though Kusanagi took it all the way to 3-2. And it just shows you that mindset of a solid Guile, that he knows he's only one, no matter what the score is, every round he's arguably only one bad boom away from losing the round. The fact that he's got that on his mind, and that for him, it looks like a really easy 3-0 match for us from our perspective. But from his perspective, he's like, oh man, all right, I got away with a few booms there. Brilliant. That just shows you how strong he is for me, because you have to maintain that throughout the set. So even winning 3-0, the guy still feels super under pressure. That he's only barely winning.
I think we mentioned this earlier in the show. You can relate that to the Daigo Tokido set where 3-1, it looks like a clean victory, easy victory. It came down to a number of correct defensive reads. Tokido got a couple of those jump-ins, demon flips in, over the booms, got in, was at the point of stun. Happened to make the right defensive read, and it worked out okay. And exactly that, Kaba.
It's not the same with Sakura, because this is why I felt more comfortable, because with Sakura also, with the level that Kusanagi's at in that matchup as well, he's like, he could afford to make a mistake or two in his mind, but he couldn't against Mena or Doomsnake, and he acknowledges that, and I think that just really impressed me. The fact that he acknowledged that is something that we all need to improve on ourselves, is understanding that a 70% life lead in this game doesn't mean jack when the opponent is of that caliber.
Lots of exciting topics still to talk about here on the show, but we're going to take a slight pause for the cause to thank our sponsors and look at some of the cool stuff coming up that's been announced for Street Fighter V. Let's take a short ad break and we'll be back on the other side, looking at one of the shining examples of talent this weekend, Kusanagi and his run in the tournament and some of his Sakura play. And yes, we will be talking about Dan. I know how hype you are for Dan. We will be.
I can't wait. Let's go.
Curtain falls.
I'll take you downtown. What's there? Going nowhere. Boom! That's how you start the fight and finish it quickly.
Let's have some fun.
Let me zap you. Here we go. Whip up! That's that!
Terrific wing! My unveiling. I will be exposed to the entire world. When the time of the prophecy comes, when all is revealed, then the people of the world will rejoice, already knowing who I am. Call me Lord and Emperor.
God's will. Time to return to harmony. Seraphic wing!
My perfection does not require any training.
Go beyond the battle!
Get ready!
Destroy! Begin!
Let's go!
Disappear! Kneel!
You do not have the strength to crush the spirit of the king.
Alright! I really like to exercise. And training is a lot of fun.
Time to meet your death, vile insect.
Pull out all the stuff!
Hadouken! Resurrection! Witness the power of the continental. This is the power of the king!
Paraneuro device expansion completed. Pseudo personality asset is imported properly. Biological brain connected. Dawn unit 0. Startup sequence will begin.
Well now, little piece of junk. Time to wake up.
Dawn unit 0. Activated.
Well, Jordan, who is a piece of junk?
Installed.
Show me something worth taking. Your data is now useless. Witness the power of the content engine. This is the power of the king! Your data will reside in me for eternity.
Welcome back to Fighting Words. Thank you for your patience. We are now moving into the next segment of the show. And I think it's about time we started paying some attention to one of the standout performances this weekend. One of the surprise packages, you could say. But I think to the trained eye, maybe not so surprising. This guy is obviously a beast in other games as well. I want to talk about Kusanagi and that Sakura and the damage that he was putting down throughout the weekend to get himself into that grand final.
Yeah, he was really taking advantage of her mobility tools, and of course, how to put this in a way that's not like downplaying. He made the most of some of the limitations in those matchups as well.
You mean in the setting?
Yeah, the lag.
a bit of online abuse, you'd say? Well, there was a lot of setups though as well at the same time.
Yeah, I don't
risk reward actually versus Sakura.
I don't want to take away from his overall playstyle, because his overall playstyle was really fascinating to watch, and there's a number of like really cool things that he did and brought with the character.
And you got to say, to counter your point as well, if you look at Jazdero, with respect to Jazdero, he was abusing frames way worse.
No, of course.
But when it came down to the two guys who were kind of utilizing tactics that could be seen as online friendly, that was a complete blow up. Man.
Let me put this out there as well, because when Mena said last week, when he spoke to us, if I play online and the connection's bad, you're going to get Blanca, you're going to get, I got M Bison here, I'm going to be doing the most. I respect that.
Absolutely.
As Smug said, you know what you signed up for.
That's it.
There will be lag.
Have a strategy.
If your character has an unreactable dash and a godlike jump in that you have to be early to anti-air, then you better be using that. If you start seeing that rollback kick in, you better start double tapping the forward. Because look, he had a lot of solid pressure as well. And I have to say that the reason why Kaba dealt with it so well is just because of his defensive decisions. But he was able to dash in and tick throw.
He got in on Kaba.
He was able to jump in and make them block light kicks, jump early roundhouse. The mix-up off of forward dash, jab throw, forward dash, low forward fireball. He used low forward fireball a lot. I know you want to talk about how he didn't really convert the V-trigger a great deal, but he was using it a great, the EX fireball and the V-trigger fireball
really
to get the plus frames and get in there and convert. He did convert into damage against most people, and that's why you saw him progress so far into the tournament. I think Sakura, as a character, is just really good at converting pressure into actual damage because of her walk speed.
So she hits like a tank, and she gets away. She gets away with a lot of extended or abused not real frames because she's so mobile. But also, the opponents, Kusanagi was very good at freezing his opponents because actually the risk versus reward on his side, if they try to check a dash and they get it wrong and it's a roundhouse and they get crush countered, that risk versus reward is frightening, especially online. So a lot of his opponents were just sitting there and letting him kind of abuse the frames and hoping they read right. But he'd conditioned them to do that. So the character helped him do that, and his playstyle helped him do that. But outside of the frame abuse, there was a lot of really sick, intricate Sakura-specific play that I definitely want to dig into and highlight, because this is a character we've already seen Nauman put on the map for us. But there's some stuff that I haven't even seen Nauman do that this guy was doing. And his strategy is so different to Nauman's strategy. Nauman's such a Japanese player. He's so methodical and calculated. And, not that Kusanagi isn't those things. He's capable of that. But he was very good at taking it outside the box as well and being a bit unorthodox and a bit, random, surprising, mixed with solid play. It's the best blend for SF5, and he did that really well throughout the weekend, I felt.
We've got some clips, so if there's anything you want to specifically highlight, let's go through some certain aspects of his gameplay, because it'd be cool to really let the people see exactly what we're talking about rather than just us waffling on, eulogizing his play.
I think for me, if you look at, I really want to highlight the match with Mono. Okay. And I'm gonna make a throwaway comment as a commentator here that I'm not 100% sure on, but I'm gonna say this is a slightly uphill match for Fang based on what I saw. I'm not sure if there are answers that
I can't imagine there's a huge amount of data on that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but those two seem to know it quite well. But I imagine there may be some answers that Fang has that I'm not aware of. But from what I saw in that set, Fang has a lot more to think about than he usually. It's not a typical Fang versus Shoto matchup, by no means at all. And what he did really well was he kind of got in whenever he wanted. For one, So at full screen, he's either charging Fireball or he's throwing EX Fireball, right? Fang, if you do that against Fang as any character and your Fireball has recovery, and he's got EX and he's throwing his Cloud out and, you know, he's Ryu Bender and all that annoying stuff, right? You're going to get clattered from full screen and he's going to take some damage off you and he's going to start his pressure game. You have to actually think about the additional possibility of the V-skill cancel off the Fireball with Sakura. And there was a number of occasions where, one specific incident where he did the charge Fireball and he saw him charge and he tried to teleport in, right, or command dash in.
Yeah.
And he cancelled into the jump, landed on the recovery of the dash with a roundhouse into fierce Fireball, whatever it was, and knocked down and then some pressure. It was horrible. And for Fang, you can't be in that situation too often. Another thing he did really well throughout the weekend was his forward throw game was almost like he gets a real dash off a forward throw. The way his opponents froze after his forward throw, her forward throw game is actually super scary just because of that roundhouse and her mobility. So he'd do forward throw and he'd do dash maybe like 5 times in a row and no one was checking the dash. And then when Mono finally checked the dash, you realize, okay, I see why you're not checking the dash, because you don't really get much off checking the dash unless you're going to wake up with like a heavy punch. Wake up with a heavy punch and then what do you get? You know, maybe you get a decent combo, but you're definitely not doing that on reaction. You're kind of preempting that. If you're preempting that, you're susceptible to the roundhouse. And when he landed that roundhouse off the forward throw, the damage was just, and the stun was just frightening. So he set up a really significant mind game where he was able to forward dash off of forward throw mid-screen more than any character I've seen throughout the whole tournament that weekend. And he conditioned his opponents.
But it's really difficult to deal with that situation because she's -4 after dash, right? But as you said, the roundhouse is 12 frames, so I think that's like a true.
Oh no, you can't do that about
situation.
the roundhouse. Yeah, you got to eat that. Yeah,
and you're online as well, so you got to look
exactly.
For
You're online as well,
and it kind of goes back into how he was exploiting the dash game. I think he was really exploiting the dash game and the jump game very, very well for the environment he's in. Whether that would translate offline, where people are able to definitely react to a 16-frame dash that's -4.
Yep.
Because you ain't doing anything after that. You know, you're not interrupting with anything. There's a 20-frame gap there.
No. Especially if you don't get nothing off lights like Fang. You need a fierce or a medium. Are you really going to react with like a 7-frame button? Probably not. You're kind of committing to it.
But if you're like carrying and it's offline, that 3-frame jab's coming out, mate.
Yeah, that's a different ball game. Different ball game. I'll tell you what as well, though. He also had plan Bs and plan Cs, which I thought was really impressive. So when he couldn't get away with the dashes or he didn't want to take the risk of the dash, this guy would have pressure into a string and then end the string in like a roundhouse when it looks like the string is over, because that roundhouse is just so deceptive. -2 into like a roundhouse that's from that far. The range it has and the speed of it for that range is really frightening. And of course, the priority system in this game is it's a heavy, so it's going to beat any medium you press
and spaced out at that range. Even though it's -4, you're not getting
you're not getting punished as well, right? So it's super scary.
The big risk is that with that roundhouse, there's a ton of recovery on that roundhouse.
You mean on whiff? Or just on block?
Yeah, on whiff. There's a ton of recovery.
Huge.
But you have to be actively jumping.
You have to committed to it.
And he was really good at making people sit down. So that kind of threat of, I think you're going to throw a roundhouse here, so I'm going to jump at you. It just wasn't really that prominent. Apart from Kaba, who was jumping on him a lot.
He was, yeah. But I think
But he was really good at making people sit down and just take my pressure strings, and that's it. And you can start throwing in. I mean, you know, it's similar to Ibuki. It's a way more budget version of Ibuki's V-Skill 1 block strings, where you think my string's done and it's your turn. No, I'm not there. and you got to hold that.
But if you jump,
then she's going to get blown up for it. That's the thing. You have to stop them from wanting to jump.
And he did that really well as well. I mean, so he'd reset, back off.
Yeah.
When he's not getting joy from that method against non-projectile characters, reset, back off, and throw EX Fireball.
Yeah. And
just walk behind it. I mean, that's frightening as hell. I mean, what are you going to do to that? And also, as Fang, you put down the Cloud and you start throwing projectiles. He does a charge Fireball. You think he's going to do a teleport, a cancel into the jump off the charge Fireball. So you don't command dash in.
Yeah.
You just wait. He releases a fully charged Fireball, which wipes out your Cloud, and he's walking behind it now. So actually, the match looks really tricky for Fang. There's so many things, so many tools that Sakura has that made me think, oh, hold on a second, this is not your typical like Fang Shoto matchup. This looks quite tricky for Fang. And there was also an incident where he had him in the corner, and he was just beating the hell out of him. And finally, Mono decided, I'm just jumping out of here, right? He jumped out, and like you said, like there was no roundhouse. But when the roundhouse is not there, you have to be anticipating something.
Yes.
So if it's going to be a dash or a jump, and this guy was red. The one time this guy tried to jump out the string, jump, air throw, back.
I was just going to say, jump back, air throw.
Oh
boom.
my God! Like, and the stun on that, it's just like, yeah, he had some really strong sequences. I felt he really meshes well with that character. There's a good synergy there between his anticipation, his reads, his button choices.
I think we're at that stage in Street Fighter 5, right, where characters are getting buffed and they're improving, but the only people who are really benefiting from those buffs are the long-term players that have invested time.
Yeah.
There's not many characters that are in the game that people are just going, right, I'm just picking up this character and I'm just going to get results because they're easy mode ridiculously good and I don't have to do much thinking at all, which shows the game's in a decent level of balance. Yes, there's some characters that are clearly better than most others, but characters like Urien, Rashid, Akuma, even Cammy, they all require a good degree of competence to use. You can't just, they're not pick up and play, even though Cammy just holds up forward and wins. But even with her, it's not pick up and play.
I think Mena realised that it doesn't work out that easy, does it? For Cammy.
Any other exciting moments that you want to particularly highlight? Because I know you've got some notes there. You've been getting your analysis on. It's nice. Isn't it nice to do a bit of analysis?
I love analysis. I can do this all day. Yeah, when you watch these players play, because you watch it once.
Where's the touchscreen board? Give me the touchscreen.
Let's get that. We need a sponsor. Victrix, sponsor the touchscreen segment, yeah? You're giving away sticks to this waste man. Give me a touchscreen, mate. Yeah, forget this guy. Yeah, hook me up. Yeah, I'll do some analysis for you guys. Actually, no, I think also I wanted to highlight his some negative for me.
Okay.
I didn't like the way he used, and I could be wrong, Sakura's message us, correct us if we're wrong. We're always open to learning. But I didn't like his usage of V-Trigger against Kaba in the grand final. I just didn't like it. I think it did serve a purpose where he'd activate V-Trigger out of nowhere. Did I say V-Skill or V-Trigger?
V-Trigger.
V-Trigger, good, because that's what I want to talk about. He'd go back to full screen, activate V-Trigger, then he'd start trading fireballs to try and get in. But Kaba picked V-Skill 1, so he had to buff the projectiles. And whenever he saw Kusanagi try and do that, Kaba was very good at always having meter. So he'd do the V-Skill 1, and then he'd do EX as well, just to triple it up, and it's just obliterating the entire V-Skill fireball. So this V-Trigger fireball, that is a round winner, by the way. If you look at his activation in other sets, when he got that V-Trigger activated and he started pressuring you with fireball, crouch medium fireball, or shimmy into a hit, light kick Tatsu, all these little things, it is a round winner. Like, you're literally dead if you get hit twice. He would just sit there and try and set up shot with this fireball approach game. It worked maybe once, and he did it about 6 times in the grand final. I just feel like he should have, if he wanted to activate Raw, hold on to that fireball, try to get close enough. I know it's easier said than done, it's Scarl, right? But you got in earlier, try to get close enough for some crouch medium fireballs.
I think that's the strength of that V-Trigger 1, the ongoing pressure that you can get.
Absolutely, yeah. Not full screen. It's not it's not great full screen.
It's a V-Trigger that I feel you need to activate on block or hit and start taking the pressure. One of the weaknesses of Sakura is the ability to walk out of her strings, right? If you try and walk out of her strings, yes, she's got good walk speed. She's giving up all of her frame advantage. She doesn't really get any real tick throws. You can walk out of everything that she does, right? So she needs to start. And also, if you walk out and she tries to do short jab, it won't combo.
Yeah, the jab misses. It sucks. Yeah.
So she has to do low forward. Now, she has to thank you, Cap Gods, for not giving her confirmable low forward. She has to throw out a buffer, right? So that can be,
Tatsu,
and you saw him do it. Tatsu, the -2 on block. Tatsu, whichever one you want to go for.
Safe string,
Or I'm going to go for the EX fireball. So even if you do block it, I get another turn. The threat of that V-Trigger 1 is, all right, now you want to walk out, low forward fireball. Not only do you have to hold that plus frames on block, but she gets a sick conversion, good corner carry, and you start having to take that throw mix up. So I feel like activating it full screen, as you said, especially against a goal using V-Skill 1, really doesn't translate to the best use of that V
Yeah,
trigger.
this is more like a criticism of the strategy, and maybe he could explain what the thought process was behind it. I think I get it. I think I understand what he was trying to do. He was trying to obliterate some of the fireballs, some of the sonic booms, and then hopefully there's one hit left on the fireball and he can walk behind it and get in on goal. But he ended up throwing the whole V trigger out in some scenarios.
Well, she gets, what is it, 4? I think it's about 4
Yeah,
fireballs.
she gets a decent amount, yes. I think it's 4, at least 3. I think it's 4.
I do apologise for getting that wrong.
And it's just imagine Urian, arguably the best V-trigger in the game, and he's in the middle of a fireball war with Guile, and he's like, hey, just reflector, full screen, just to. If it's the second mirror, yeah, stick it out, right? And just get rid of those fireballs, charge up V-skill, build to meter. But for the first activation, why would you want to do that anywhere other than in your opponent's face?
It's so good as a pressure tool.
So
and it's
good.
so good turning her incredible walk speed and her great plus buttons into a real threat.
Yeah,
you have to sit
the
there
low conversions as well. You can't walk
exactly.
away
You
from.
have to take it. You have to take the throw mix up. And you get the character in the corner. And I feel like Guile, when you play against Guile, you have to be patient and wait for your opportunity to get in on him. He's going to throw a back fist that you're going to duck. He's going to throw a boom and not have down charge and have to block.
A lot of his stuff
and then
is
you'll be
preemptive,
in.
yeah.
You'll be in eventually.
Exactly.
Right? I feel like, that full screen activation is not the best. Even when he was activating on block, I think Kaba did a great job at mitigating the situations as well.
To be fair to him, he did.
He was blocking fireballs and not really getting opened up for it the same way some others were. But yeah, some nice little clips there we've mixed in there of Kusanagi's play. Well worth going and checking out some more from him. And I look forward to watching Kusanagi playing more when we come back round. Central America.
I think he's going to be a massive threat second time round. He may need a solid answer for Mena's Bird. Well, actually, no. Actually, he battered Mena's Birdie. What am I talking about? No, yeah, I think he's a big threat, especially if Kaba doesn't enter. Who's going to stop the guy, right? He looks super strong this weekend, so that could be the next guy you see qualify.
Well, you can definitely guarantee that Mena's going to be in the lab and working very, very hard.
What's a tremendously bad matchup for Sakura? Guile seems pretty tough, but it's not that bad. But Guile's definitely uphill. Maybe Guile. Maybe he's training with Kaba now. That Guile matchup, because Mena that's his strategy now. He's the counter picker, and Birdie didn't look great. Cammy looked decent, but I don't know if he has enough Cammy experience to beat Kusanagi.
I'd like to see him try Abigail in that matchup.
That's not a bad shout. I don't know nothing about that match, but I imagine it's decent for Abigail.
Let's move on anyway. We've spoken to one of the Guile masters in the world. We promised you some words from the Beast last week, and he has come through. Thank you very much to Shino and the wonderful people at Capcom for helping make this happen. Without any further ado, let us hear from the Beast himself, Daigo Umehara, freshly qualified and building some weird stuff with a pickaxe and blocks. I don't know what he's doing, but we'll find out. Daigo Umehara, words from the Beast, right here on Fighting Words. Let's check it out.
そうですね、まあ単純にオンラインの一発勝負なので勝者が安定していないっていうことも考えられますし、新キャラクターとか調整の新キャラクターの追加とか、あとはバランス調整、それからこの自粛の中での練習によっていろんなパワーバランスに変化があったっていうことかもしれないですよね。なので、なんとも言えないですね。事実自分自身がこの自粛を通してかなりレベルが上がったと思ってるんで、そういうプレイヤーが他にもいてもおかしくないですよね。もしかしたらそういうことなのかもしれないですね。日本人の参加者が多い、まあ、日本人のプレイヤーはスポンサーがついてるプレイヤーが多いですし、単純に日本という国のレベルが高いっていうのもありますから、その日本のから最大で3人しか出れないっていうのは大きくカプコンカップに影響を与えると思いますね。ただ、やっぱりいろんな国でそのストリートファイター5盛り上がってくれた方が嬉しいので、まあそれがいろんな地域で予選やっても結局のところ強い人たちが各国回ってポイントレースをするっていう展開だったのが、まあこういう形で 純粋にその地域の人たちから代表者が出るっていうので、もしかしたら何かいろんな国で盛り上がるきっかけになるかもなという気はしてますね。はい。
Yeah, he talked about it. That's why he plays Guile, my man. And there it is. Daigo in a close setup against Shuto managed to fully load in on resources now, and Daigo's going to be able to get the hit.
Oh, yeah, and he's got the critical art.
Oh, yes, indeed. Ooh, a little bit fancy with it as well. Off the flash kick. Critical art smokes Cammy. A little bit more consistent of an anti-air attempt. Oh, the roundhouse directly into the super. Definitely in Daigo's playbook, and now Tokido looking.
That first round was all Fudo, but now Daigo is just taking control, and now trying to predict the Sonic Boom not going to be happening. And Daigo.
そうですね。EX にあんまりゲージを使わない。確定の場面とかは使いますけどね。そうじゃないときはあんまり EX を使わないっていうのは、そうですね。意識してますね。それもこの自粛が始まってから思いついたというか、かなり意識をし始めた部分の一つですね。
There, but the crush counter give him that last bit he needs, and he wakes up with the parry. Oh, he's jumping though. Flash kick actually punishes on the other side because of it.
That he has a lot of. Can he get this whole loop? If he can just get this whole loop, he's in there. Because it's just going little by little. Is it enough? It's enough. There it is.
すいません。戦ってみたい相手はどうでしょうね。でもまあやっぱりせっかくなんで対戦したことないこれまでにいなかったようなプレイヤーと対戦してみたいです。
Back throw here. He's still got a Molotov. Yeah, just tosses it out. Now Daigo's burning away. He can't take any normal. Can't take a whip. Can't take anything. My goodness, just standing there holding the stance. Daigo with so little options at this point to preserve his life. It's so hard to do anything.
And Fudo blocking that low jab in the EX Sonic Boom. No more EX Sonic Boom for Daigo.
And Fudo, time is on his side right now. Oh, but he actually goes up too close, and the jab boom comes out from Daigo to tie up the match.
マインクラフトやってたっていうのは特に深い意味はないんですけど、まあただこれまでの大会と違って自宅での、自宅で待機という状態だったんで、まあその時よくやってるゲームをただプレイしたっていうだけですね。特に深い意味はないです。あれか。
The Beast himself unleashed into Capcom Cup, the winner of Asia East 1 in an emphatic fashion, as predicted by yourself, the real soothsayer.
I'm
just pulling out these incredible, unbelievable picks.
I like betting against the favourites, and I tend to be right when I do. So.
Real dark horses you're going for.
Yeah. You say that in a sarcastic way, but Daigo hasn't won a tournament since 2018, so... Yeah, a CPT, so that was actually a fantastic pick from me, and I think the logic behind the pick was sensational. That's how I roll. And as for Kaba, I mean, the favourite was definitely Mena. Come on, everyone knows the favourite was Mena.
Who was the second
favourite? There I was
favourite?
again. Second favourite was Kusanagi, of course. Maybe Choco?
Daigo, very, very comfortable at home there. We didn't get an appearance from his cat.
He's loving this new lifestyle, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's loving the COVID-19 pandemic lockdown, bar the actual disease. Sorry, virus, not the disease, a bit harsh. He's actually loving the setting of being home, not having to travel as much. And also he's able to maintain his Zen mode for a longer period of time, which he said in his previous interview, which is really what's attributed to the success that we're seeing, isn't it? And
Absolutely.
of course that ridiculous training regime that he has implemented in his online play every day.
not a huge amount of insight in that interview. He's a man of few words, as you know.
On this occasion,
you've spoken to him before.
Listen, guys. Let me just tell you now, anyone out there trying to interview Daigo, it's expensive, and you don't always get the kind of answers you want. You know, you got to be in a certain mood. You know.
Yeah, you got to catch him on the right day to get the.
Got to get the Fosters out, like
the
you
real
lot, haven't you? I
thoughts.
think
The
that's
real
probably what it needs to
thoughts.
do. But he said some interesting stuff. It was a shame to hear that Minecraft had nothing to do with this fantastic improvement we've seen.
I put that question to him.
Such a shame.
I was fully expecting to get some real in-depth, you know, it's really important for me to maintain, you know, my balance and my calm. It's like a palate cleanser of all the excessive focus.
You're hammering through the walls.
I'm just super focused on you know, playing against guys like Tokido, online Fudo. I've got Valorant, Cammy dive kicking at me. I just need to smooth it all out and break it down with some Minecraft. Just nice and peaceful and calm. Get those sheep bleating.
He didn't even make a joke about it. He was just like, it's got nothing to do with Minecraft, guys.
No.
What are you talking about?
Sometimes you look a bit too deep into things, maybe more deeply than you need to. But
I
if we didn't have
appreciate that attempt to call that out Fire, but unfortunately it had nothing to do with his success. Or maybe it did and he just doesn't know. Subconsciously, Minecraft is extending his ability to maintain super focus during Street Fighter 5.
Yeah.
But he just doesn't know it.
He definitely acknowledged, though, the really positive effects on his gameplay that the extended period he's had at home to train and practice and study has had. Haitani made a very insightful tweet.
Yeah, it was great. That was really good to see.
After Daigo won, to say that, you know, Daigo has trained out in the open. He's shown you exactly what he's been working on. He's shown you all of the experimentation. He's shown you the weaknesses of his character as well, because he'll go down and break down. I remember when the patch came out and they nerfed V-Skill 2, he was breaking that down, going through that in depth, looking at the height variations, what the frame data was on block, at the spacing that he could and couldn't do it now. And not only is he doing that, but he was taking his time to train with other people and help them out and give them advice. You know, Ryusei a lot. Sako a lot. Bonchan, I don't know if it was training or beating.
Bit of beat down banter maybe.
But he was doing all of this out in the open and he still won.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's super impressive.
I did ask that, is it possible, is that only possible because you're playing a character like Guile and they don't rely on having stuff in the back pocket, you know? The way that Guile plays, he's not really going to, you're not going to see Guile come with some ridiculous side switch 50-50 V-trigger activation. Oh my God, where's he? What side does that hit?
He doesn't do that, no.
You're not, I mean, he might
upside down kick is probably the most deadly thing he has, which is pretty deadly, but it's not the same.
But that's not, you know, it is what it is.
Like
is it upside down kick or is it a throw?
It's not like I can't see, I'm just guessing what side to block now. And oh, it's an instant overhead. Oh, I'm dead.
I mean, if he was playing a character maybe like Seth or, you know, M. Bison that are really setup based and set play based, then maybe he wouldn't be the same way. Maybe he wouldn't be playing in that way. You can only speculate. But Guile definitely lends himself to just putting his cards on the table and just, I'm going to shut down your play and I'm going to play my game.
Yeah. And Guile's very good at that. He's very unique in that way because projectile characters exist in the game and projectiles are frustrating to deal with. But they're nothing like Guile's. Guile has a legitimate projectiles ending game. Fang does in a number of matchups too. Urien can do a little bit of it against some of the big bodies, and Sagat obviously a new addition who kind of does it a lot less effectively.
It's as close to a real fireball game as you can get.
That's it. But actually, I was really disappointed that he backed away from what I thought he was going to say. I thought he was going to say something quite not controversial, but quite blunt, brutally honest. Because he said, "Look, usually we have, 15, 20, players from this region qualify. This year it's only going to be a maximum of 3. And it's great for the nations all over the world that are having that. And then I think I saw a but. And then he didn't follow through with what I thought he was going to say afterwards. I think he decided, I'm not going to say what I'm going to say. But I think what he wanted to say was, you lot are lucky that we're not able to get more Japanese players in because we'd be bodying all of you guys. My counter-argument to that would be the top 3 at Capcom Cup last year. Right, that would be a counter-argument. But his point would still stand, of course. The highest caliber would be about 40%, 50% Japanese players, if we really want to be honest with ourselves. So that's going to be an interesting change for these guys. But at least Daigo's made it, which is he's maybe peaked now as well in the game. Best he's been, probably.
Potentially, he's looking really, really dangerous. said that he's really looking forward to playing a player that he's not faced before.
Yeah.
Someone that maybe not made a name. I mean, as soon as he said, I'm looking forward to playing a player that I've not really faced before, I mean, we immediately thought, like, yeah, it'd be nice to see him play someone like Idom.
I actually thought he was going to say Idom when you asked that question.
But, no, it's nice to see him wanting to play these players that are just have not really made an impact on the world stage yet.
Yeah, but they're deadly. It's like, I can't remember who the famous technology expert was. Was it Bill Gates? Or it might have been someone else who said, we're not worried about these massive technology companies. We're worried about the guys in the garage, the two men building the next big thing. That's who we're worried about. Daigo's got the right mentality because, you know, every year, especially with Street Fighter 5, you know, and we're seeing people suffer from not maybe knowing enough about some of these newer heads. There's always a bunch of breakthrough players, man. You know, Ryusei's still quite fresh to Street Fighter 5.
Yeah.
He's not been around that long. He's obviously a Nevo champion in his own right. But, you know, Kusanagi as well, like really starting to peak now. These are names, SKZ, you know, these are names that are not necessarily at the front of your mind when you think about Street Fighter. I really like the fact Daigo's thinking like that because these are the guys you need to worry about more so. Because we already know, you know, Nemo and Sako and Problem X and Infectious and Idom. We already know these guys, right? But who are the guys just below them? Who's the next big threat? I like that. That's what you need to look out for so you don't get upset or something at the tournament.
Good for everyone, I think, that Daigo's name is in Capcom Cup. It helps. When Daigo's doing well, I think everyone does well. It's good for everybody.
It's a nice return to form for him, I feel. Long overdue. Great to see.
All right, one more subject to broach, and it is all of the information given to us in the summer update. A new forward-facing look from the Street Fighter 5 development team. We're going to be talking about that on the other side of this short break. Do not go anywhere. And, of course, Dan.
The man.
Dan. We're going to talk about Dan. See you after this.
The curtain falls.
I'll take you downtown. That's how you start the fight and finish it quickly.
Let's have some fun.
Let me zap you. Here we go. Whip up. That's that.
Terrific wing!
My unveiling. I will be exposed to the entire world. When the time of the prophecy comes, when all is revealed, then the people of the world will rejoice, already knowing who I am. Call me Lord and Emperor.
God's will. Time to return to harmony. Seraphic wing!
My perfection does not require any training.
beyond the battle.
Get ready.
Destroy. Begin.
Let's go.
Disappear. Kneel.
You do not have the strength to crush the spirit of the king.
All right. I really like to exercise. And training is a lot of fun.
Time to meet your death. Fire insect.
Pull out all the stuff.
Hadouken! Witness the power of the Continental. This is the power of the king.
Paraneuro device expansion completed. Pseudo personality asset is imported properly. Biological brain connected. Dom unit 0. Startup sequence will begin.
Well now, little piece of junk. Time to wake up.
Dom unit 0. Activated.
Well, Julie, who is a piece of junk? Show me everything. Show me everyone. Show me everything.
Installed.
Show me something worth taking. Your data is now useless. Witness the power of the Continental. This is the power of the king! Your data will reside in me for eternity.
Welcome back to Fighting Words, our weekly roundup show from all the amazing Street Fighter events over the globe. We are international, baby. But right now, we're not going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about something really in the heart, in the center of everything we've been waiting for this year. In this pretty, up and down year we've had, I must say, as Street Fighter fans. There have been some great highs, some sad lows. Right now, though, after yesterday's announcement, I think we got a lot to look forward to. So the summer announcement has been made, Logan. There's some SFL in there. There's a character package in there as well. New stages as well. Some timelines around balance patches too. It's a very exciting time, I must say.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack about this summer update. The fact that it exists in the first place. We've been waiting for news for a long time. Obviously, we knew that there was a Season 5 coming. We've been waiting months to find out what's going on. And understandably, at the moment with the COVID situation, it's definitely put a slow down on the progress of development.
Of course,
but one of the things that I'm really appreciative of is looking forwards and the new precedents this set, and I hope they stay. Having a forward-facing developer presence, which you get in pretty much every other major competitive seasonal game, right? Esports titles, they will always have a forward-facing.
I was actually going to ask you, do you prefer this kind of like roadmap reveal?
Oh, absolutely,
or did you prefer
100%.
the kind of mystery?
100%. I like a bit of both, right?
Okay.
Because, and I just wanted to say, having Nakayama-san, the director, and Matsumoto-san, the producers of Street Fighter V, it looked like they were not just here to, okay, these are the characters you're going to get, thanks very much, cool, and then that's it. It seemed to be something that was going to be consistent and recurring. And obviously had the FGC round table from the Japanese developers that involved not only Capcom but also, Bandai Namco Entertainment.
Yeah, super interesting.
French Bread, Arxis, Arica, showcasing a lot of the stuff they had to come. But Capcom obviously had already had this summer update planned, so kept their announcements for this. But it's great to have at least some kind of forward-facing communication. Now, admittedly, the amount of information that was given was not a huge a lot. We didn't get a lot of insight into the processes, the thought process, and the direction that the producers and directors wanted to go in with the game. We didn't really get that much detail. It was more sort of like an overall.
I don't think we'll ever get that level of exposure. But
I think it's possible one day. Where
I definitely would love it.
I would welcome it wholeheartedly. But as I said, I'm trying to look at the positives of the existence of this update. We can break down the contents of it, but just the performance of it. So having Nakayama and Matsumoto-san just speaking to a camera, we haven't had that really. We've had Ono events, and we know when Ono's at an event, we wait for Blanca to come out, and we hope that there's a trailer video to be shown. And maybe Ayano-san's there as well, and he might be there revealing something. But we've never really had this.
No.
So it's exciting as a communication channel. You mentioned having the roadmap, and again, I think that's something that's really important because to know what to expect.
I'm not crazy about the character reveal of the roadmap though, and I'm sure there's going to be mixed feelings on this, but I quite like that mystery. I think committing yourself to timelines is fantastic for everyone. That's brilliant, right? It's accountability. It's something that we can manage our expectations for as well. But revealing the characters ahead of time. Obviously, there's still some exciting mystery decks. We've got no idea how they're going to play, what they're going to look like. But there's something special about having the character actually revealed. Now, that works both ways, right? Because if everyone's sitting down in a room and everyone's super excited, and then a trailer comes on and here's the new character, and they see Honda, and everyone's like, oh, okay, let's go, get out of here. No one cares about you, Honda. Then, of course, it's not going to be that exciting. But, occasionally it's the king, or it's Akira.
It's interesting that you mentioned the king. Because for me, my favorite ever season in terms of reveal was the Season 3 trailer that they showed at Capcom Cup.
Okay.
Where for the first time, and obviously that was the introduction for Arcade Edition, so that it was already made for that purpose.
Yeah.
But having the reveal be, here's all of the characters for this season. We're not going to do a traditional trailer of, here's the special moves, here's V-Skill 1, here's V-Trigger, blah, blah, blah. Seeing all of the characters in some form, getting an idea of who we're going to get, what they're going to look like their design ethos, no gameplay, but just that. I think that's the best way.
Okay.
If we'd have got sort of like a reveal trailer that was cinematic and included, Dan stumbling after Blanca and Sakura, for example, Rose coming in and speaking to Manat or what have you, Oro doing something in there, and then at the end Akira Kazama shows up and everyone goes wild. That would have been crazy.
Yeah.
And then you show the roadmap of this is what's going to happen here and here and here and here. I feel if we can work towards that, that's my ideal zone, because I just remember seeing that, and I wasn't at that Capcom Cup. That was the one I didn't get to go to. In fact, you were in the building.
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
What was it like when they played that?
It was insane.
Yeah,
it was
because they got the
amazing.
Sakura trailer, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Was it Sakura and Blanca at the same time?
I can't remember.
It was two
exactly
trailers,
what
wasn't it?
Yeah, there was two. Exactly. It was a surprise.
And then they were like,
afterwards.
"Oh, by the way, here's everybody," and you're like, "Yo!"
Yeah, you got a full road.
At home, it was mad, so I can only imagine.
No, it was crazy. It was insane. It was. I think you're right. That's actually one of the best ways to do it potentially, especially if you've got the right characters in that list.
Yeah.
And speaking of characters in the list, I must say, I did kind of try to give you guys a hint that Akira was in the game. I was telling you every week they're going to put Kairi in the game. You didn't get the hint, guys. Kairi is just Akira spelled in different letters with one letter missing. So I tried to tell you. You didn't see it.
It's just Akira spelled in a way that's not Akira.
Again, my predictions continue to blow everyone's minds. That's another one I've got. This is a Mystic Mac. I'm the new Mystic Mac. Ask me the question. It shall be so. F-Word will be the next EVO champion in 2021.
Yes. Definitely standing for fuller something.
Come on. So,
but so we know obviously that we're not going to be getting a new character until winter 2020.
Yeah,
which
sucks, but
we know that the last CPT event is end of November. Does that mean that we're going to have a whole season that will basically be as it is? It says new battle mechanic and new battle balance coming in this winter 2020 update with Dan. Obviously, stages, costumes, what have you. I'm sure they'll be nice. And, of course, the fan design costumes, by the way. Sorry, they're coming in that same launch. And I don't want to gloss over that, because that fan design costume competition, I think, is amazing.
That's
and
brilliant.
I'm really happy
It's
with
fantastic.
They're engaging another part of the Street Fighter fan base.
Long overdue as well.
To get involved with that. But we are basically going to be playing this version of the game for the duration of the competitive season, and then that's that. And then once we know who's going to Capcom Cup, which is happening next year, they said, it will be, we'll have a couple of months, hopefully, on the patched version with new battle balance and new battle mechanic to train up and make sure that we're ready for Capcom Cup. Now, the rest of the content coming spring, summer 2021, that's kind of the normal gaps that we're expecting.
Following
in
that
previous
standard
season.
procedure,
It's just the fact that the first one's not coming until winter 2020.
It's a big gap, but it's a necessary gap.
Do you mind the wait as a competitive orientated player?
I think it depends what I'm waiting for. If I'm waiting for the new patch or the new reveal, the new battle settings, whatever that might be, I think it's a good idea to wait. I think it's too disruptive right now. I think as exciting as it will be for the casuals, I think it sucks for the professionals. It's really just not ideal. Everyone's putting that time in day to day, and you just wiped out. It's because that's what these patches do. They essentially wipe out hours and weeks and months of training, and they're necessary. But I think mid-season is just super harsh.
It's hard, isn't it?
Yeah, super harsh. So actually, I'm quite happy about that. Characters, however, now they're disruptive too, right? But I am a bit gutted that.
Well, I can't see Dan disrupting the season a great deal.
Well, you never know. Yeah. Listen, let's talk about that guy, because
we'll talk about that in a
couple things,
Come back to that.
Couple things, Don't rule him out. He might be S tier just yet. No, I don't know about that, but he might be a little bit of a sneaky threat. I know Exion's going to be jumping off of his.
So,
chair.
what do you think about characters coming out? Still coming out in like a drip feed situation rather than all in one go?
I still appreciate that. I just think the gap. I wish the gap wasn't so long, because obviously, I mean, is it winter 2021 for the last two? When's the last two?
No. So the last two are coming out summer 2021.
Summer 2021.
And then there's a fifth character to be announced coming out in fall of 2021.
Yeah.
We call that autumn here in the civilized world.
I love it. No, actually, it's not too big a gap, but I would like us. Look, it's me just being idealistic. I would love more time for those characters to be exposed, because we've seen this happen before, where games are approaching a new patch or a different era or even end of life even, and then these new characters just don't get as much exposure. And some of these characters are so freaking cool, and no one really got to dig as deep as we would have liked.
And some of them are Eleanor.
Yeah, some of them are cancerous. But all in all, I'd love to see the characters get a bit more time. So I agree with staggering the release. I don't think you should release them all at once. Let's get some hype in there.
I like releasing them all at once. I think it's good for the competitive scene.
It is good for the competitive scene. But the fan in me likes the kind of like to give each character that kind of exposure, that specific reveal over a small, but just a shorter gap. I think I'd appreciate more of that. But then each to their own, I guess.
I mean, I remember when Super Street Fighter 4 came out and it had 10 new characters and it was crazy.
Yeah.
So, like, it was so much fun. The game changed so much after 2 years.
Yeah, but a bunch of characters got super overlooked in that 10 character reveal, you know?
Yeah.
Which is a shame. You know, it'd be nice to give some attention for a period of
But
time. I guess that's the flip,
But
right?
that just shows you how... I don't think characters coming out with a bunch of other characters will stop them getting overlooked. Because we've seen characters be released, and I'll go back to it. A great example.
Folk.
Well, Honda's an absolute demon online, but Sagat, for example. Sagat, for example, right? Sagat came out. Everyone's like, "Oh my God, Sagat! I'm super hyped for Sagat.
Yeah.
He's back. The King's back." And
trailer looks sick, by the way. The trailer looked gas.
And when it came time for everyone to be picking up this character that everyone's apparently super hype about, where he wasn't really anywhere to be seen.
Well, actually, having said that, you know, it only took about a year for Zaffarino to win a significant tournament with Sagat. And it happened.
Year and a half.
Oh, well, it happened, though.
Yeah, I think it was in the same week that Bonchan didn't make it out of pools.
It was the same week.
So yeah,
it was that week where Bonchan was picking Sagat for his first match
against
every
Aita
tournament,
Seth,
and then he'd lose and go straight to carrying, and it happened for the whole day. So yeah, poor Sagat. Yeah, true. The characters will go. That's a really good point, Logan. I'll take that on board. Characters will get overlooked regardless.
I feel like if you give us characters all in one go, it allows people to go off and do their own work. Look, listen, we play fighting games. Characters are wildly different. They require significant amount of time and study to break down. You know, some characters are obviously very good immediately from the start, you know, and other characters take a bit of work to unlock. And so they might need a season or two of tweaks as well. You know, look at Urien was good when he was released at the end of Season 1.
Yep.
It wasn't really until Season 2 that he really took off. Let me think of another example. Zeku is a great example.
Oh, yeah, perfect example. Yeah,
where
everyone was late on that
a couple
guy.
of tweaks. Ibuki was another one as well. Couple of tweaks, all of a sudden, absolute danger.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I like giving the characters as much because, all right, you look at this and they're going to have battle balance mechanic changes. It looks like at the end of each year, right? The characters that have been out from the start of the year, you've got so much more data to balance them out than a character that comes out towards the end of summer, you know? And I feel like releasing the characters all in one go is something that I personally, I'd happily wait a year, you know, for characters to all be ready and go, there you go, there's your 5 characters. It's definitely going to get me to buy the pass as well because I know exactly what I'm getting, and that's another reason why I like the reveals all at once. I like what they've done here where I know 4 of the 5 characters I'm getting.
Yep.
I feel confident in investing in this battle pass because, you know, I'm hyped for Oro and Akira. Dan's going to be fun to mess around with, and Rose obviously is going to make Luffy very happy, and maybe Filipino Man, and that's about it.
You can be honest about what you think about Rose being included.
I'm super bored by Rose.
Do you think Rose is a wasted space there, Logan?
No, I don't think she's a wasted space.
Okay,
no,
okay,
I think she's a well-liked and iconic character, but I'm super
she's
not
quite classic.
excited for Rose.
I'll be really interested to see how she plays, but I don't think she's going to have an invincible backdash, Luffy, so you're probably still going to be playing
V-Skill 1's going to be invincible backdash, V-Skill 2's going to be focus backdash. I'm calling it now. Just press 2 buttons and backdash out the strings. But yeah, the fact that we have a roadmap, I think, is great as well. It allows us to look forward and know. You don't have to get in the stream chat and go, when's the announcement? What's going on with this? Where's the trailer? Because you know when it's coming.
You know what's going on.
It's not coming. There's no trailer this week because Dan ain't coming till winter 2020. You know what I mean? So just enjoy the matches. Enjoy what's being said. And I'm super happy for this roadmap. I think this is I think all of these methods of communication that they're starting to adopt, that we see prevalently in other esports publishers.
Yeah, I think that was great to
It's
have
good
that.
to see.
Have that the guys there actually to talk about it. That's a nice change, and I hope that's not something that's going to be a one-off. I hope that's going to be a regular thing. I think that's brilliant for everyone.
I would definitely like to hear more from Nakayama-san and Matsumoto-san about the direction that they're taking, their creative direction, but also, you know, the battle design specifically, the purpose of the mechanics, what they're looking to do, how they want the characters to play, so we can get more of an understanding.
I hope you're not expecting them to explain their decisions in nerfs and buffs. And
Yes,
stuff like that. No,
I want all
no,
of that.
it's never
It
gonna
happens
happen.
elsewhere,
It's never
man.
gonna happen, mate.
We get that in esports.
Well, they have released some quotes in the past.
Yeah,
I don't think you'll be happy to hear what
I
they say.
want people to tell me that Urian players are finding it hard to get in, so they're making all violent knees plus on block.
Oh my god. Yeah.
I don't want that ever. But I think it would be good to have the insight anyway. That communication allows us to, build up more of a rapport, and the feedback will be there. And yeah, I think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Regardless of whether you got the characters that you want. I didn't, obviously. But and I know there's a bunch of salty Sea Viper players out there in the world.
Yeah, thank heaven for that. Thank heaven. Nobody wants to be trying to block cross-up burn
Makoto
kicks
enthusiasts
online.
out there.
Cross-up burn kicks with teleport lag. No, thank you. I think I'll take a pass.
It's all good.
Yeah, Makoto's will be upset as well. I actually thought Makoto was going to make it.
I thought so as well.
Yeah, but Oro's there. That's great.
We'll see. She still could be. Fifth character
Yes, true,
has yet
true.
to be shown.
And usually when they do this 5th character reveal, it's usually 2 characters, by the way. Just boom, 2
might
guys.
be.
Yeah, it might be. We've got time to talk a little bit about Dan and his.
Of course we've got time.
His bid for S tier positioning.
This is the next subject. So, obviously, when we watched the summer update presentation, the tiniest amount of footage was shown of Dan on what looked like shaky cam phone footage.
Yeah.
I've seen
just before they
I've
went
seen
live.
better videos on your YouTube channel from Evo 2016, filmed standing on a chair like this.
Yes. I do have steady hands, I must say.
But there was more footage on PlayStation on their channel. So let's take a look at Dan and pull out some of our thoughts. So as we speak, we'll be dropping in some clips, and hopefully it will all make sense to you. I have been watching through this footage. I don't know if you've had a chance to look
Yeah,
at
I've watched it many times. Yeah, I'm
Look at
trying
it.
to figure it out.
So Dan, in general, let's talk about how Dan played in Street Fighter 4, because I think this is clearly what he's based on. In Street Fighter 4, Dan didn't really get the light confirms into medium that everyone else got.
No.
He was a commitment based.
His lights were like, they might as well have been -2, like punishable. They were so bad. I think they've maintained that, by the way. But no one really has lights into mediums unless it's a target combo or your Chun-Li, who's just privileged.
Exactly.
So that's fine. But actually, when I saw his stand jab, if we talk about that very quickly, it looked like it was like -2, I swear. There was like 0 hits done on that stand jab. So I'm not even sure he gets anything on counter hit. He might get light into light on counter hit, like Ibuki. Which
I'm sure he'll get a chain into some kind of cancel into DP, perhaps, maybe, that might connect.
Yeah.
You speak about DP as well. In Street Fighter 4, he actually had one of the best. Because
that
it didn't get
DP.
nerfed from vanilla.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, towards the end, he was laughing, wasn't he? And he had that close hard kick into DP, FADC trap. Like, man, Dan actually, look, big up Exion and the Dan players. Dan actually became quite, not legitimate, but quite scary towards the latter stages because of that. What happened to all the Shotos, and he was maintained. And he had that Bison plus repetitive pressure.
It was very interesting because the way that he played, again, he's another character. The way that he played was a lot of commitment. He wasn't covering everything and OSing and playing the game mechanics of Street Fighter 4, but he was frustrating because he'd put you in a situation where you did have to guess.
Yeah. The thing is,
because
you could get away with guessing wrong loads.
Yeah, because his damage wasn't horrendous.
Wasn't great unless he hit you with a roundhouse, right?
Yeah.
But he would put you in those situations constantly.
The fact that his down kicks would break focus armor.
Oh my god.
Would meant that you had to take that. Is it going to be a throw or is it going to be a safe down kick on block? Is it even going to be plus on block? And that's basically Street Fighter 5 the game, right? I'm going to put you in a situation where is it going to be a throw or is it going to be a meaty? And let's look at his throw actually, because his throws, you can't see what the recovery is, because that it looks like the way that they've built Dan is he's got a lot of the after move recovery animation.
Yeah.
That you saw in characters like Sakura and Zeku. They're just doing stuff. Cody's got a lot of it as well, where it's like really characterful, but you can cancel it once the move's finished recovering.
Yeah.
So you can't really tell from the video.
Like. But position-wise,
bruv, that back throw.
What the hell was that
anywhere
about?
on the screen, I'm going to back throw you. I'm going to be on top of you.
That looks like another back throw. I mean, if he's plus after that.
Plus of the plus.
I mean, but the thing is, they can't make it negative, because then you're going to have another DJ situation where you just didn't think when you designed
He's
the
going
move,
to do back throw, and then Zangief's going to do wake
ultra.
up CA.
You know what I mean? Like, you You can't really do that. So
Yeah.
it's got to be maybe 0 or if it's plus, it's like, yo.
I mean, if it's 0 and he's only got a 4 frame, then
That sucks as well, to be honest. 'cause
Yeah,
he's
but-
in a bad situation.
but
right?
at least he's not going to get guaranteed wake up Zangief
So
critical.
but that means he's got to commit to the jump back after his own back throw, you know,
Yeah.
or commit to the back throw back. That's her. That sucks. So yeah, I mean, look, you obviously got quick rise. It looks like the quick rise might be point blank, like you said, which is going to be super interesting. Back rise obviously is going to get them some
Can't back
distance.
rise
I
off the
imagine.
throw.
Oh yeah, of course. Oh my god, I forgot. So yeah, this is horrid. This is horrid.
Yeah.
They can't do that.
It's only in development, right? So we'll see. But that immediately pointed out to me like, yo, that's actually
That's
titties.
it,
He's got a couple other situations as well that I noticed. So I didn't see the light down kicks hit. Obviously, the heavy down kicks knocks down, and it looked like it didn't look like he was going to get dash up anything, really. And it knocked back a bit. It didn't really look like a great situation. The medium down kicks, obviously you're giving up damage, but you leave them standing and it looked plus.
Yeah, it's like V-skill turn punch with boxer, isn't it? Probably +2. Right in your face as well for throw pressure. So medium down kicks into back throw. Woo! Welcome to my world, baby.
That's the ting.
They call me Dan, baby. Let's go. That's going to be interesting if that's actually a thing. But at the same time, Logan, I mean, that those medium down kicks, they're going to do any damage at all, mate. I mean, this is the thing. They might make him broken in terms of like situational stuff. But I think they're going to make it.
He
they're
has
going
to hit you like 8 times.
Exactly. To actually get anything going.
So he's got a new move as well, the Dan Retsuken, which is absolutely not taken from any other games at all. It was
completely
absolutely invented in Omega. So he had that in Omega Edition in Street Fighter 4, and a lot. If you look at characters in Omega mode in Street Fighter 4. A lot of the stuff that they had there carries over into Street Fighter 5 for a lot of the characters.
What, like Kage?
Yeah.
Kage Fighter 5, Kage Fighter 4. A lot of Dan moves there that would have been replicated over, I think, and just pasted. Yeah, no, it's true. I think there's going to be a lot of that stuff in there.
So it's a hit grab animation move. So if it makes connection, then you get a little animation and a knockdown.
Definitely going to be.
Didn't see it on block.
Highly punishable on block.
I'd imagine so.
I would think like -8 or something like that. You know.
Not that badly.
I think so.
4s and 5s. He's right next to you.
Mate, it's like Ryder. My Ryder used to be safe in third strike. I don't know why they made it unsafe. In
I
these
know,
games.
man. Dudley's sweep used to be 0 on block. So
I mean, whose idea was that? I mean, it's a blockable command grab essentially. It's not even a command grab. You can block it. It should be -2. Anyway, that's just my thought. Doesn't do chip. Don't build meter on whiff. Everyone builds meter on whiff, mate. I don't build no meter on a whiff rider. Why?
Why is this Dan section turned into you complaining about Ibuki?
I'm just saying, if Dan's going to have some kind of command grab that's a blockable command grab, then it should be -10 at least, yeah? Let's keep it even.
I want to speculate now.
Yeah.
Because this is definitely not a given, right?
But the taunt cancels.
It looks like, so there's 2 clips that we looked at,
Yeah.
which we've, in the main thing, there's 2 scenes. He's obviously on the new CPT stage and then on the Kanzuki Estate stage, and it looks like he's got 2 different V skills activated in those 2 different scenes.
So is that the new battles?
So you see at the start, and let's show it now, where he's cancelling normals into a taunt, medium punch. It looks like into a taunt, and it combos. It's on hit. I'm not really sure what else he can get from it, but it looks like something, cancelling. We didn't see him cancel any specials into it, but he's cancelling normals into taunt. And you'd imagine that using that taunt allows him to build V-gauge, and who knows what happens. The second scene is really interesting to me because he starts cancelling moves on hit into roll, forward and back. I didn't see him do it on block, I don't think. But not only does he cancel moves into roll, he follows up the roll with a punch.
Some kind of taunt punch.
Yeah, that will juggle in certain situations. And he also cancels in the air into this same punch that looks like it gives like a soft knockdown. It doesn't combo off the EX Dan kicks, but you see it combo off of the Dragon Punch.
Yeah, that was really weird to see a Dragon Punch go up like that and then have that kind of
stop.
follow-up.
I mean, he even a lot of people saying he's got FADC, and that's kind of what it looked like. He did the DP on hit, did the roll, and then the taunt afterwards. So it looks like to me, and this is just speculation, we don't know anything more than you, that they might be his two V skills.
And then there might be a mode where you have 2 V skills available, is what you're saying?
No, because we didn't see both at the same time. You only saw that little
So
taunt.
your theory is that those are
The two
V
separate,
skills.
yeah.
Okay, got you,
because
got you.
we see them 2 different stages. You never see them both used at the same time.
Yep.
And that might be a way of him. It looked like you didn't get great Oki off some of those special moves.
He doesn't like
but with the roll, it looks like you actually get some sort of consistent Oki.
Maybe you can do the roll without the little taunt hit at the end as well, so because that seems to knock them further away, so you get some continued pressure too. Yeah, I mean it's really hard to say from here. They've definitely gone down the route of making him quite gimmicky.
Yeah.
But often in trying to make a character gimmicky or whatever it might be, you can sometimes break the game. We saw this with Hakan in Street Fighter 4. There was a mode of Hakan that was like very broken, right?
Well, as soon as he started in Ultra, when he started oiled up, it
changed everything,
and the fact that oil stacked as well. I think a character being gimmicky in Street Fighter 5 is not a negative thing at all, and we haven't seen V-Trigger, and as a lot of people know, having a good V-Trigger really is the most important thing in this game. Yes, you can be a great character without it. There's characters that are very good without great V-Triggers, but realistically, you want to be looking at what happens when you press those 2 heavies together and how they change.
Are his Dan kicks going to be safe? Because look, we know they were like plus
I don't think
before.
so. I don't think so. There's very few things. Maybe one of them will be. Maybe like the light will be -2.
Just like Tatsu with Sakura's.
Yeah,
safe,
right?
right?
I think light will be -2. Be interesting if he can space it and get it plus. That'd be fun.
That'd be very interesting.
Yeah,
we'll get a real Target E in the game.
You think about things that are already in the game. It's very rare for you to see special moves that are safe on block. It's not something that you see a lot of characters have.
EX Dan kicks +3 on block.
Woo!
Let's
no close roundhouse though.
No,
he didn't have.
He doesn't have close, which is a big loss.
He
actually.
seems to have quite a good like fierce as well. It's like just comes out.
Yeah, also got a lot of active frames as well.
Yeah,
I liked his roundhouse. I think that might be his cross counter move. He did did it like a low sweep kind of like move, and there's a lot of hits done on it. He couldn't link.
And he's got one of those sort of horizontal standing heavy kicks like Ken's.
Yeah,
I guess.
exactly. Like Ken and Cody's medium, similar kind of like angle it covers. So that's gonna be interesting. Look, man, you can't write anyone off in this game, and especially when you look at how much Shotos can differ from one to another.
Yeah.
In one hand you got like a Ryu who hits like a tank but can't really win any tournaments because he just needs to overextend so much. Then you got a Sakura whose overextensions are far more difficult to deal with just because of her mobility and versatility and special moves, and they're both Shotos. So let's not write Dan off. He's supposed to be a gimmick. He always is supposed to be a gimmick, but you never know, man.
They seem to really like him as well. The developers seem to really.
If you look at the votes, it's clearly not the fans that are screaming for Dan here. My theory, and actually it's not even a theory, it's fact. There's definitely a few guys in the Capcom studio that are huge fans of this character.
Yeah.
Because he always gets a shout, and it's because they love him. He must be a token for them. Maybe he's based on a guy who actually worked at Capcom. That's my theory.
Well, he's based on a guy, but not a guy that worked at Capcom. The guy that he's based on is certainly not from Capcom. Anyway, looking forward to that. Frame data can make any character good and any character bad. Right, so if they want Dan to be super competitive, he could be very easily. But as you said, he's most likely going to be a character that is going to be robbing a few people, stealing some turns. He's going to have to steal a lot of turns to beat you. But hopefully, he's not a complete,
Listen, if he's got mid-screen back throw loops, that could be. He could have a fighting chance against anyone.
It could be. But Dan coming to Street Fighter 5. In the winter of this year.
Can't wait.
Exciting stuff. Let's move on. One more subject, and it is SFL, the pre-season. Of course, the pre-season has begun already, dropped on us, announced on Wednesday, and the first matchup has already happened. And it looks like these are online sets that are played between the players that we're going to be seeing involved in SFL teams.
Yep.
We had a an undercard match, which I like the format of.
Love that, yeah.
You know, like the fight card kind of thing. There's a couple of people that have been out there doing this.
Yeah,
before.
shout out Damascus.
Damascus has been doing that. I've been really enjoying Heat Check from Danny Fan as well. And obviously, it's working with this where you're able to showcase some of the talented players that we've seen on the Pro Tour regularly, like Alex Myers and Commander Jesse, and then players that are going to be involved with SFL, like Samurai and Nephew.
Yeah.
2 one-sided matches. We saw Myers beating Jesse 4-1, and that score repeated with Samurai against Nephew as well. Samurai, I think, is a really exciting pickup for NASA Esports.
I think it's a great signing for them. He's got to be the most improved Akuma in the world as well. Like just when you look at how he used to do versus Punk versus how he does now versus Punk, like this is a really dangerous guy. You know, he's always been a very talented player. Great to see NASA investing in him, and I think going to be an asset for any team in the SFL as well. And obviously he plays a completely busted character, which never hurts anyone.
So when the SFL does come around, he'll be on the same team as Big Bird and Angry Bird, looking very, very dangerous. That's a difficult team to really kind of pick an obvious ban as well. Angry Bird's just announced as well last week that he is maining Seth.
Yep. I mean, to leave a character like Zeku, Seth's got to be something.
Yeah.
Because it's not like he was struggling with Zeku neither.
Absolutely not. No.
He played his arguable bad matchups. I think Angry Bird maybe played them the best out of anyone. Like he plays the Gal matchup really well, the Sim matchup really well. He looks pretty comfortable in all those matchups that people think may be hard for Zeku. So for him to say, "Hey man, I'm just playing Seth now, man," and we've seen it, we've felt it, haven't we? We know that character's a real problem. But yeah, also these guys, I don't know so much about Samurai. I've seen him, he's dealt with the ban before, right? And he whipped out the Ryu and got some big wins.
Bro, it was crazy. They try to ban Samurai every week.
Yeah, I know. And he handles it so, he's such a versatile, talented guy. All those years with Ryu as well really helped. But the kids, I call them kids. I mean, they're young men, but they're kids to me. They're like my little brothers. Angry Bird and Big Bird. Their whole speciality is playing various characters to a good level. That's how they learn their matchups.
Yeah.
Their community is so small over there that often like one guy will pick up a character just to teach the scene how to play the matchups. And they got to learn to play that character to a good level. I don't think banning those guys is going to be as effective as it would be against any other team. That's going to be a really strong contender this season.
Yeah, there's a number of teams involved that are really hard to leverage bans against. You have to think as well, announcing his retirement, Knuckle-Doo, that team would have been crazy with Phenom, Problem, and Do.
Crazy team.
How do you even approach picking bans there?
I mean, they all have the same strategy. And the characters they pick as well, just either super solid or super scumbag characters across the whole board. So yeah, that team. I mean, it'd be interesting to see what happens now, obviously. But
very interesting to see. Obviously, Doo's been through a lot, both highs and lows in recent months, and has said that he's taken a step back. But we don't know when SFL will actually commence in terms of the team aspect of it. We've got these pre-season scrims, fight cards to come up with. I'm really looking forward to seeing who's involved in those, to be honest with you. Are we only going to see the US players competing against each other? It's obviously online sets. Are we going to see exhibitions amongst some of the Asian-based players? You've got players like Sien, Hot Dog in the tournament as well.
Yeah, it will have to be
Oil
region
King.
blocks, right? Just because obviously the
Are we going to see players from Europe playing each other as well online? I'm really looking forward to it. I'd happily watch some exhibition matches of some of the top American players going head to head. I'm down for that. That's exciting to watch. But the real cool thing about SFL is the international flavour this season. And when it does kick off, and they are able to get these teams all in one place, playing against each other. Let it be said, I have to say this as well.
I'd say if, not when, to be honest. I mean, that's a big...
Well, it looks like they're moving forwards with it.
Well, how? Where? It looks like what?
Fight Island somewhere. You never
This is
know.
what I mean. Yeah, I mean,
but
big sporting organisations in the world right now.
It does look like they're
are
moving
not finding
forward
a way
with
to do it. So
they are working on that.
timeline-wise, I'm curious to know what's realistic.
Well, that is something that hasn't. We have seen roadmaps.
And I think that's got a lot of reason why there hasn't been a timeline announced. Because
however,
you can't predict it, can you?
If and when it does happen, that will be the only instance that we'll have had all year of seeing international competitors fighting against each other, because everything's been regional.
Of course, yeah.
So that's something I'm really looking forward to.
I hope the format isn't changed where it's turned into kind of like a Capcom Cup format where we have to regionalise a qualification and then they get together.
Well, no, because the teams are from all over the place. Look, going back to Problem's team, 2 European players and an American. You've got
NASA Esports as well.
NASA as well. Which team's Infectious on? Oh, is that Psycho Shinobi?
Was it Gustavo Infectious?
So there's a mixture of internationals on there as well. I'm looking forward to it. But we do have the SFL pre-season every Thursday now, and we will be following from that. We're not on next week though.
No, taking a break, obviously.
No CPT event, so there's nothing to round up in terms of the Capcom Pro Tour.
Exactly.
I hope you've enjoyed the show tonight. You will be able to catch the replay and the archive on YouTube and Twitch. Want to check back those interviews with Kaba and Daigo, of course, or go back through some of the analysis that we've done on the show, some of the matches. But we will be back in 2 weeks' time. We'll be back
Thursday,
in a week and a half's time.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
For Saturday, for round one, North America West, which is going to be an incredible event. I believe sign-ups are still open for a couple more days of that, so if you have not signed up yet, that one is going to be a doozy. So many talented players in that region that are all going to be fighting it out for that spot at Capcom Cup. So we will see you in just over a week's time on round one as we open up the pre-game show for NA West. But for us tonight, that has been it. Thank you again for the delicious chocolates. Ruining my diet. I'm going to crack open these and enjoy some now.
Happy birthday, mate. Happy birthday.
Much appreciated. And that beautiful display piece, I will treasure that forever. That's going in my corner room where I've got the Problem X shirt on the wall mounted that he won Evo in.
It's like the sexiest stick on the market. It's
beautiful.
Go in the cabinet, mate.
It's beautiful.
Just give it to me.
I'm not giving you a damn thing. Other than my regards as we say good night. Thank you for joining us. Take care. See you real soon.